Futures unchanged or a little change here so far this morning as we get back to normalcy, question mark. Government shutdown's over, but we'll have to wait and see on some of this data that we haven't received over the past couple of weeks or a month, better part of a month at this point. That's how the Nasdaq's looking right now, kind of a chop fest here in the pre-market after initially gapping to the upside. We give that back downside right now, but trying to hold some of the levels that we saw come into play yesterday. Not holding any levels, period, is Disney so far this morning, getting hit pretty hard here. Just made a new low on the session through 110, trying to bounce right now, but a whole bunch of question marks around Disney. I mean, they're upping their dividend. They're, a lot of positives as far as the earnings report goes, but we'll talk about why that stock is down coming up. Joby, interesting this morning, had a wild day yesterday, back and forth through 1550 and 17, or the high was 17, back to 1550 here this morning, leaking to the downside here. Successful first test flight for Joby on their defense contract with the U.S. government happened yesterday, so we'll keep an eye on that. Cisco, the big one here this morning, though, holding up nicely. Didn't get through 80. We tried to get through 80 after the close yesterday, failed. We're holding right below that. Looks pretty good here.
Yeah, it looks really good, Brendo. 6.5%. Who can complain about that? BABA, the Chinese ADRs are very strong today too, Brendo. A lot of different headlines on Chinese ADRs. BABA with a ChatGPT rival, let's call it that. JD.com, obviously one of the biggest online marketplaces in China, up 1.25, and Baidu as well, up nicely. Google in focus as well, Brendo, as the European Union looks to investigate them. Starbucks with possible union outages, and Fly up 23% here at start the pre-market.
Yeah, well, we'll touch on a couple of these low float names coming up here this morning as well. I mean, the Google thing, I feel like this is yearly almost for Google. They get some sort of investigation, end up paying a fine, and then everything's fine. Sitting right now, however, at the lows from yesterday after a pretty negative day yesterday. Tried to bounce into the close a little bit, but no such luck. Disney is going to be in focus here this morning, I think, and continue to be as we head back towards, I just heard 110 did not hold here, guys, for Disney. Pretty ugly to start things off, more than 5% here. Good morning.
It's 7 cents under the 110. There's still a chance Disney holds the bid here.
Good morning.
Come on now. Disney has a shot. No, it's not good for Disney. As good as Cisco might have been, they're not going to help the market. We're going to move as the AI names are going to go here today. And I have to, what's hilarious is, I know you haven't seen The Wire, Sean, but there's another awesome reference in The Wire, which is perfect for this Google and antitrust thing.
Okay. I didn't
where the mayor needs a bunch of money for his re-election. Instead of just going out and phone calling all this stuff, he organizes a poker game with the big donors, and they just all loose him.
Right, like on purpose.
Like tons of money.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of, like when the EU needs money, they're like, well, we could do something more above board, or we could just go out and find other ways to grab at you, which is essentially what they're doing here. But no, I don't like what's going on with Disney here. I really thought might fare a little bit better. Yeah, at least it's obvious where it has to hold the support, right? For Disney, like if you don't hold 109, 110, it gets ugly, but this would be like kind of the bounce spot. Nvidia just broke the low, it's down 1%. And thank you, Randy. I should have put this on the breakfast today.
Randy has like the half face now, what he stands on there. See, it's like you just see.
You gotta crouch.
There you go, there's Randy.
Peanut butter sandwiches this morning?
Did you see that? Yeah, we got some peanut butter sandwiches. I said at least they're getting creative, but I don't think they're not too much success. I think at least they were
put some
trying.
Jam on there, like.
I think it's mixed all together, the peanut butter jam, but it does look like it's favored on the peanut butter side of things.
There was jam on. You got one with jam?
I thought there was jam in it.
The one I had didn't have any.
No.
I don't know. And it was like so little peanut butter. It's like.
Yeah, I don't know. I basically ripped it in half and took half and threw the other half.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll get you one. Sure, you want to sit down here and switch roles? I mean, I've always offered everybody. I've been ready to switch roles with anybody.
I don't even know what we're
I didn't even. What was that? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, I was looking at, what did Randy say? Something about cream? No, I take one milk, my guy. He's only been doing this for 7 years, so I don't know. Yeah, so Tesla right now bleeding a little bit to the downside. We saw Rivian go downside here a little bit yesterday, but there goes the Nasdaq. Like, I don't know what's happening here. I only have short ideas written down here. That's wrong. I have Alibaba long at 160, but I'm looking short in the Nasdaq, man, as starting with Palantir as well. I mean, some of these names starting to go to the downside a little bit here today, and we'll see if this can break 180. There you go. We're down 1.7%. I mean, we want to stay with the trend, and I said this yesterday at 3 o'clock or something, and I said, like, I'm really feeling like it might be a short coming into today, and right now it's not like it's going short that much. It's only down 0.3 right here, but 0.4. But I was getting those feels yesterday, and I mean, the Dow Jones is the one that hit the all-time high yesterday, and I saw President Trump last night at about 10:30, I think, when he was signing the order, I guess, to get back here, and he was saying the stock market's at brand new all-time highs, and I was like, oh, he has to be talking about the Dow, because the ES and the Nasdaq are not there, but they're close enough. Yo, what's up? That's a good one. Market moves. Hey, Joe. But yeah, so the Dow right now today only down 0.2. So this may be where you look, as again, 30 different kind of companies and more breadth than just the Nasdaq and the ES. I mean, yesterday's big move in the Dow was led by Goldman Sachs. I mean, the banking sector so hot, yesterday. And look at Goldman, just bang, right to the top side. I mean, we talked about JP Morgan as well, Citigroup, all these names starting to come through right here. And Goldman, they took down their largest fee ever for the EA deal. So, that's, I guess that came out yesterday. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling, too bullish here today, but I do like Alibaba.
This won't help it, because the memory names that have been going hammer, they felt toppy. SanDisk down, Western Digital down, Micron down, and they all look bearish. So today might be that day. And look, I'm on Western Digital right now, but Western Digital already looked weak. SNDK, which had been the biggest beast mode name, that put in a high, not as weak because it's not breaking down, but if you don't break 275, you're in trouble. And then the third of that cohort, Micron again, already looking like it made a bit of a top and a roll down over. I don't know. I like, the weird thing is I like all three of them today. Kind of have SanDisk on the no, but I feel like any of these ones can break down here because they've been so parabolic. I know the chip base has been strong, but those three names in particular have been going maybe the most ham recently, outside of, say, like an AMD. So there's a lot to cover this morning, obviously, and we'll head back on up to the desk. The cool thing is, you guys don't know this, but like we have more progress on the studio because production has moved back to their normal spot, I suppose, or the final spot. In the back. So when I yell at Andre over there, I can see the back of his head. He's not like 5 feet away from me. But lots of progress.
Do we yell at Andre? I think the midday guys yell at
they will. A lot more I say we, but it's more Sharif. And it'll be a little bit different, but not much for you guys. It's really about when we can get this bad boy rolling. That's what I'm excited about.
All right, yeah, Tesla's on watch as well. People talking about that, and there goes AMD down to the downside as the Nasdaq again. I don't know if we jinx this move or not, but yeah, feeling pretty red here today in the market. So let's go back over to the guys. We didn't even really talk too much about Disney, but we'll get to that as we go down 5% and not holding any levels either as the market continues to march a little bit lower. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get this this ship righted or straighted in the next hour before we open up, but lots of volume going to be coming in on the open today, especially if this market starts red. So let's get ready to roll. We're here. We're ready. Joe's here. Sharif, everybody. The whole team is ready to rock and roll here today on a Thursday. Light earnings day. We had Serve Robotics and we had Cisco and then Flutter. So we'll talk about those names as well. SMCI moving. Everything's moving. Intel, AMD, NVIDIA. Whether or not you like bank stocks, chip stocks. Rivian yesterday was a huge one. Some of the airlines coming back into play now, as well as we open up that government, hotel stocks,
crypto
casino, crypto's bounced nicely.
Yeah, BMR was having some. Well, Bitcoin bounced.
It's not under 100, yeah.
But some of the other names didn't do as well. And there was a weird buy on Mara yesterday at the load up, kind of at the close. It didn't seem like it managed to matter, but it might be worth watching if there's any support at 4.
Heyo.
Thank you so much, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Ask and you shall receive.
Randy.
All right, let's get back to the desk, everybody. Lots happening as the market just broke the low.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, no data again. If you're just joining, government shutdown is over, but no economic data to deal with as of yet. We'll keep an eye out for that. But just be aware, Fed's daily speaking right now. There are going to be quite a few Fed speakers coming through in the next, well, today and tomorrow specifically. Fed's daily saying we haven't heard a lot about net job losses, specifically from AI. We haven't heard a lot about the overall state of the employment environment because of the lack of data here that we've been getting over or not getting over the past few weeks. But again, just be aware there's going to be some Fed speakers today. There was a note on CRM I was just watching or reading through as well. Salesforce acquiring a company called DOTI, D-O-T-I, an enterprise search startup, plan to fold its agentic search tech into Salesforce's AI R&D team. Salesforce not really doing anything here, but just a heads up for that. Disney, again, the big mover so far this morning. Overall, some of these numbers actually not that bad for Disney. The buyback going to $7 billion, dividend up 50%, but the market hitting this really, really hard.
Yeah, well, weighed down heavily again, Brendo, by linear television. We're talking about TV networks, theatrical releases, which underperformed. EPS beat, so they were able to shore up costs, but revenue missed, 22.46. Their street was looking for 22.75, so that's a miss on the top line. Entertainment revenue fell also 6% year over year, again pressured by linear network television. Underperforming film releases, weak ad revenue from ABC and their cable network, so they continue to operate poorly in the legacy areas. Streaming, though, Brendo, remains the bright spot. Operating income rose substantially year over year to the tune of 39%, up to $350 million. Sports revenue grew at a much slower pace, 3%, up to $4 billion now, with costs to launch the new ESPN to direct-to-consumer app eating into some of those margins, Brendo. So maybe next quarter or the year next, we see a bigger top line number for sports.
Hopefully. We'll keep an eye out on Disney again, still basically free falling at this point so far this morning. This one, TKO to the upside here this morning. Nice look. Again, not a lot of volume, pretty uneventful, but even TKO getting into this betting market, poly market side of things. Yeah, this one was late on my list, Brendo, because it came out later in the morning. But yeah, so TKO signed another multi-year deal with Polymarket, making them the first sports organization to integrate real-time prediction markets into the live events. So what's going to happen here is Polymarket will feed live sentiment and momentum probabilities directly into broadcast and arena screens. That's pretty cool. So for people watching there and on TV, you'll be able to see it. Separately, Brendo, Polymarket or Kalshi, one of the two, or maybe both, they had to give up there was something to do with DraftKings. Yes, that's it. DraftKings and FanDuel had to give up one of their licenses in Nevada in order to get into the prediction markets because they wanted to get sports into the prediction markets as well, where you're betting, of course, you're not betting, but you're against other users rather than the house. So something to do with Nevada there. So something to keep an eye out on. Absolutely everybody getting into this world, including the NYSE with a huge investment recently into the betting side of things. Here's the daily chart for TKO. Again, not a lot of volume so far this morning, but decent levels to deal with here. I mean, this thing's still holding up pretty nicely, even given the overall market here, guys, for TKO.
Yeah, I mean, look, at this point, if you're up today, that's good for you. But I wish I could tell you that it just looked super bullish right now. Not until it gets back above like 186, 187, maybe even breaking out of 190. You see how it's like a downward slope from the highs, and it's all these topping tail candles in that downward slope. So yeah, you made a bit of a bounce off 180, but until you're closing above 185, I mean, I hate to look at this and feel bearish, but it's not enough essentially for a breakout to think it's going to go back to the high. But it is up today on the very, very light volume as well. Like you can see, it's barely even printing, so it's not like there's a lot of buy support on TKO. So I don't know if this is going to be a big trade or even a trade at all today. Just hearing some stuff about Disney on the conference call, it's still at the lows. Yuck, yuckity yuck yuck. I think you've had a good opportunity for Flutter. If you're looking at like talking about the betting markets, if we go back to that for a second, you had a good opportunity with Flutter and DraftKings to get a little bit of that bottom. They both double bottomed and are looking a little bit better. Down today, but it's a very, if you zoom out further, you can see the double bottom. But you put in a pretty distinct higher low if we hold 30 this week. So that's going to look like a good recovery potential. And ultimately, if you do this as well, you're in the midst of breaking a trend. Maybe not yet. I think you probably need to confirm that closing today, if not this week, above 30 bucks. But DraftKings trying to break out a trend here. I think this one bears watching. Again, not sure that's a today thing. Maybe more of like a next week push into
what is Flutter's symbol?
Oh, Flut? FL. It's just Flut. FLUT.
And what is it doing?
Oh, yuck. Wait a minute. That's down. It's down 5.
Yeah, so they reported last night. So that's the thing with Flutter. And obviously, there wasn't much going on there yesterday. And this FanDuel. So as Sharif mentioned there, FanDuel, DraftKings, all sort of intertwined in all of this. We had just last month, we were out with the guys from Intercontinental Exchange, and we were talking about their investment into Polymarket. And you know how interesting that was, and how the different classifications are between gambling and predicting the markets, and getting into apps like IBKR and Robinhood and all that kind of fun stuff there. So yeah, DraftKings again definitely missed the bottom here, but we're looking at 30 now. Maybe that was just a flush down there into earnings, and up 20% in 5 days is DraftKings. I really like TKO. I mean, just to have the WWE and UFC, those are two properties that are never going to be going, in my opinion anyways, anywhere. UFC, I remember watching this, like UFC 1, 2, 3, Hoist Gracie, even little names like Ken Shamrock or Dan Severn, guys that moved into the WWE, but these are all like the originals, and UFC was starting to get popular back then, and right now there are many different MMA leagues, right? But the thing is, UFC still remains the king, let alone what's been happening in WWE, where, they've had WCW, AEW. I mean, I'm familiar with all these independents, but WWE is still the king of the castle. So I really like TKO. I mean, if you're talking about having properties under your belt, those are two great ones that I think, it's kind of like Mario. I saw, my kid comes running down yesterday. They released the new Mario movie trailer. There's a new Super Mario Brothers movie, yeah. So they released that trailer yesterday, and it looks like basically the exact same as the first one. But that was out yesterday. It has like 15 million views or something in the first couple minutes or hours or whatever. And it's so I'm just relating the two, like WWE or WrestleMania, UFC. I'm still looking forward to that UFC in front of a White House. That should be crazy whenever that happens, man. I would love to go to that. Apparently that has happened before with boxing matches and stuff like that. So apparently that's going to be happening this coming year in 26, where they have an event there.
Hulu? No, I'm wondering who the fight's going to be.
Well, I don't know. Figure that out.
It has to be the fight of the year, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Dana White's, they'll just line that up. Whoever's hot at the time, I guess. Right. They'll figure it out. But okay, yeah, that's it. So we got BABA, Palantir, Tesla, and the market is on my mind here today. All right, let's go over to Joe and see what he's up to and see if there's any options on his mind.
AMD.
Couple options on my mind this morning, guys. All right, let's take a look at what we got. First things first, though, big title fights this weekend in the UFC. Yes, we got Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. That's going to be a big one. And then Zhang Weili versus the Bullet, Valentina Shevchenko. We're looking forward to that one. All right, guys, let's take a look at what we got going. At the top of the list, we have Nike, Wells Fargo raising that price target to $75. And then Booking.com, Wedbush giving them the nod. Price target raised to $6,000, guys. Circle also on the list as well, too. Price target going to be raised to $100. It was on both, to be honest with you. But let's take a look at what Cisco has been up to and some nice moves in the post-market yesterday. We're going to look for some continuation in today's session. Morgan Stanley giving them the nod, up 6.6% on the morning session. $73 is going to be that target. Now, as for Flutter, Neil was talking about this earlier this morning. Price target getting lowered to $300 by Needham. down 3.7% in these pre-market sessions. Now, as for Largo, HC Wainwright lowering that price target to $2.90. And then we have Dollar Tree by Northland Securities, price target lowered to 103. And then Alexandria Real Estate Group, Citizens JMP, lowering that from an outperform to a market perform. We're down about 0.75% there, guys. Now, as for some of the options activity, let's take a look at some of these puts, guys, because they're most definitely in play. And we have a lot of open interest within Ethereum. Excuse me, at that $25 strike price, that is going to be expiring next Friday. So take that into mind. Volume relatively light. And I want us to look at it like this. So as you get closer to expiration and the open interest volume stays relatively high, how we want to look at this is necessarily as people who are writing those contracts. And if you're writing these puts, you're essentially bullish from a specific level as long as you don't go below that $25 strike price. So come next week, if that level increases or doesn't decay relatively fast, then those are going to be writers and they're just going to allow those contracts to expire worthless. Now, as for Meta, wow, we're speaking of TKO. This was a straight KO here in Meta. All the way down to $600, guys. Open interest around 7,100 there, and then the volume around 3,000. So again, with Meta, I don't know if this is going to be enough to hold as a floor potentially, but we'll keep our eyes on that. And then Amazon also taking it on the chin as well too, guys. Volume at that 240 strike price. That's going to be expiring this week, so tomorrow. Volume is 10,900 with the open interest sitting around 7,700, guys.
Oh, ETH. Wherefore art thou, ETH?
Maybe it found a bottom.
I mean, that would be the hope because Bitcoin's holding 100K. But like, I don't know, like that 25 is probably not going to come into play today. I mean, if it does, we got a lot of bigger fish to fry. But if you look at the last couple of sessions on ETH, it gets very clear and distinct. When it gets ETHA, I'm obviously talking about here. So that's 27 on ETHA. I could also, here, let's just do it this way. Make it a little more simple for everybody. And we'll just look at the actual spot price here and have it load up. Oh yeah, of course when I do that, you know what? I'm not gonna wait for it to load. I was gonna show you the actual prices, but who cares? 27 on ETHA. Even if we were to pop, even if we get strength in the market today, I think that's the kind of level that would be fadeable. Now, unfortunately, because you're already all the way down here, I'm not thinking short on ETH. I'm thinking you're getting topish in some of these chip names, and that's why I was talking about SanDisk and Micron and WDC all looking bearish. And there have been a lot of weird sell zones as well, and sort of on that note, like you see selling at 27 on ETH. Randy, you think somebody's selling Intel at 38 to 38 and a quarter the last couple of days? Like,
you think?
You think?
Maybe.
Just maybe a little
smidge?
Bit. Want to see that kind of stuff? You're like, well, that tells me that somebody's selling it, and they're clearly in control there. So join the party as well.
Join the short sellers party.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Is that the actual shirt from the graphic? That is. The Randy graphic?
So here's the thing. It's autumn now, almost winter. I get dressed in the dark. I don't want to wake my wife up. So, I mean, you reach into the closet and you go, oh, there's one. And yeah, so, and then it's jump in the car and grab a coffee and it's autopilot from there. So I don't know. There's random t-shirts in the closet and then you just, yeah.
I can't hate on that.
It is what it is.
I was the same way, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna suck it up. I don't want to wake my wife either, but I'll just get my stuff ready.
It's
I get my stuff ready at night, just so I don't do that.
That's planning. It's warm enough today that you can wear a short sleeve up here. It's not. It was snowing a little bit this morning, but it's not quite long sleeve weather yet.
No, Randy. It is not warm enough to wear short sleeve.
It's gonna be +6 today.
Absolutely. That's exactly my point. +6 is not short sleeve weather.
Randy, you need a coffee or?
Not
yes,
even
please.
A little bit.
Yeah, we're back.
I'll have those Irish cream things in it too.
Irish cream things, okay.
I like those.
You know, we had like those chocolate bar flavored
Snickers, yeah.
Snickers.
It's just liquid sugar though. I don't know.
Yeah, it tastes pretty good.
This is what it is.
I'm just saying.
I'm hoping for a Rivian bounce today. It's 1726, I think. I don't know.
Let's double check. 1720. That's oddly specific.
Well,
We've already
there's a play there.
Lost. Oh, I see what you. Yeah, in here.
Just right.
Look at Randy checking out levels on the chart.
Oh, I had to look last night.
There's your 17.
I want to get back in, but
there.
I'm still want to be long.
Kind of still looks back end. Lower high here, maybe a little mini head and shoulders setting up like it could dip into. Like if the market's weak today, why wouldn't it get back out into 16.5? It's a missed opportunity short in this.
If I can get back to the high 14s, I'd buy the dip and go along again.
Yeah, well, down in the 50. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if it gets down to here, but it's going to take a while to get down.
I know. I'm willing to take the risk.
I think what you got to be concerned about in the short term, if we're looking at EV names, is this 420 on Tesla. Yeah. Tesla, this could be the first close under the 50 period since you got to go all the way back to August. So if it does that, simultaneously breaking down that 420.
420.
Exactly. This one's in trouble.
Elon. Oh boy, are we going back to the desk?
I think we're going back to the desk.
Let's go back to the desk.
Yeah.
Just reading a note here on Grayscale. Grayscale Investments, according to Bloomberg, just filing to go public through an IPO. So Grayscale has a whole suite of crypto-related ETFs and assets, but Grayscale Investments, the company itself, filing to go public via an IPO, according to Bloomberg. They're kind of interesting. Spotify, I was keeping an eye on that. They were presenting at a conference over in Europe. Wasn't really moving around at this point, but we may get some conversation or comments on that as well. You had a lot of these Chinese ADRs on watch here this morning. JD made a nice move initially to the upside on their report, but has given basically all of that back. Baidu with an announcement this morning. There's Alibaba with headlines as well. China back in focus.
Yeah, they are, and it's Singles Day, as you and I were talking about off camera. So obviously, you know, with respect to the e-commerce names, we're going to get some sales data. But JD.com, obviously, that is one of their biggest online retailers. They reported earnings, I guess, just coincidentally here with Singles Day. 5.8 billion yuan revenue. Pardon me, adjusted profit, that's about $850 million. That's sharply lower than what they took home last year, guys. 13.17 billion yuan was the profit. Despite that, revenue did rise about to 300 billion yuan. Over here, it says basically the competitive landscape is really starting to pick up, Brendo, as fierce e-commerce price wars compresses margins across all sectors, hence why we're seeing a lower profitability but a higher revenue number. And that's something the Chinese regulator has been really pushing, not just with the EV companies, but with their e-commerce platforms as well. They don't want that race to the bottom. Things are actually getting cheaper in China while we're seeing inflation because of that competitive pressure.
And then you put on top of that the aspect of having or allowing them access to the US market and whether or not that's going to come through. And let's be honest, we have no idea yet still. Boeing, another one to watch out for here is a couple of headlines regarding Boeing. $28 million verdict in the 737 MAX case closes, so they're going to have to pay that amount. There was also, I think it was Emirates, I saw potentially ordering a bunch of Airbus planes instead of Boeing, so another possible negative catalyst here, guys. So Chinese ADRs moving around here this morning, Boeing with a couple of news headlines as well.
We'll be looking at the Chinese ADRs, but like here, I'm going to show you this chart of Alibaba. So note this consolidation where it wasn't moving and then the breakout, and then you get this higher low. So there's sideways action. You're allowed to do that. There's support. Then look at JD.com, and I get it, they reported. In all of that time, and even before that, JD has done absolutely nothing. It's just going sideways. The only good thing is 31 has been holding like an absolute champion on this stock. So I feel like when you have a consolidation like this for so long, the breakaway in either direction is going to be good. But as a day trade, you got to be on BABA today or something else, because if it's not going to move, then you can't just sit around there hoping, oh, this is the day it's going to go as a day trade. At some point, there'll be a swing. Maybe it's breaking 35 and the 200 for a couple of days. Maybe it's breaking down under 30, but I don't see either one of those imminently happening. But what is happening is BABA, that's at least moving. They're up 4 points today, bouncing off in the support level on somewhat of an uptrend. It has to break this 50 period for some real continuation, like if you're looking to swing. But BABA, at open dip rip, at open dip, at open dip, at open dip, every single day. I mean, you go, when was the last time it didn't dip? I guess like this day there was no dip. That'd be like fourth. So pulling back into the prior open is where I think we're headed on Alibaba. But JD, there's going to be a moment. Like, it can't sit there forever. One of these days, it's either breaking out under 30 or breaking out over 35. We can wake up when that happens for JD.
Yeah, that is an interesting. When you showed me that, I was like, okay, yeah, that does seem like it's just sitting around there. I do like. Are we on the watch list yet? No, we're just still going through our stocks. But I have Alibaba at 160 here as a long that I am looking for. It's the only long on the list here today. I mean, you know, we came in. We were here last night thinking negative on the market. The market's giving us that negative vibe here today. But I still want to try to go long. Yesterday I had made the mistake, and it wasn't a mistake. I purposely didn't go long Alibaba, but this is the levels that I was saying I wanted to go long. So now I'm sitting there today at 160 in the long-term account. If we can get a little bit of something here on Alibaba, we'll put some money to work here. I do think there is a possibility of it coming back in here. But what if, the market rallies a little bit over the next while? I think Alibaba with this whole Quen and AI chips, and China's just another story, right? I mean, Alibaba's worked. We do know that it was a $300 name at one point, falling back in here and just kind of breaking out now, to be honest with you, over the last 6 months. So we'll see if it can continue this upside trend here for Alibaba and buy these dips. So into 160 is something that I'm looking for here on Baba. I mean, the China trade still remains pretty good. We had looked at FXI just last week, or maybe it was beginning of this week, and it was trending higher here. So I think China will be all right, and we'll figure out now that the government's back in. I don't know if that means more China talks or what's going to happen here, but hopefully we can buy these dips if Baba gets down. I like 160. I like the story here, and it is the one long that I'm looking for today, Alibaba. But all right, look, make sure you get the watch list. Make sure you get Sharif's note and everything. Let's go back over the desk and start with I think a little bit of a market sentiment there with Sharif, and then we'll go through the watch list.
68.75, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES December contract. We're below that right now. We're at about 68.50. So that's the first area of support we're going to look for. We're going to look to see if we can kind of reclaim that 50-point level at the open. If we don't, we're looking to that 68.25 area. We did bounce off it on the 11th. Let's see if we bleed, if we bounce off it again. To the high side, the overnight high is 68.92, so that's basically right around the 100-point level. So we're going to say 6,900, Brendo, as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab that. Absolutely free every single morning. Link is below in the description. Top link will get you to the sign-up page. Then all you need is your email address. Comes right to your inbox every morning. Then you come join us at 8:30. A ton to get through here this morning. Let's get going. Cisco, top of the list here, although we're coming back in a hurry right now, back to just above 78 after starting the morning here up around $80. But just a monster report. Wasn't even a downtick on this report after the close yesterday, just straight higher.
It's fantastic. They're really benefiting, obviously, from the AI play. They're saying the hyperscalers are spending aggressively on their AI data centers to the tune of $1.3 billion. That's just for Cisco. So let's talk about how they did on the report. EPS of $1, beating the 98 pennies expected on revenue of $14.88 billion. That beats the 14.77 expected, and revenue did rise 8% year over year, and that is now the fourth consecutive quarter of growth after a multi-quarter slump. Net income as well, Brendo, that take-home money comes in $2.86 billion ahead of the $2.71 they took home last year.
Just reading more on this Grayscale note as well, they have confirmed that they filed their S1 with the SEC and plan to go public through an IPO on the NYSE. They will trade under the ticker GRAY for Grayscale. So not necessarily crypto related, the investment firm, Grayscale, going public.
The creativity on that stock ticker is just, through the roof. But I like Obvious. Obvious is good. I don't know, raise your hand if you think Cisco is going to hold this gap right now. Probably not a lot of hands up. The good news for Cisco was going into this, we talked about this last night, going into this print, their 4P was like 17, so they weren't expensive when they were breaking out the all-time highs. It didn't require that big of a beat, but they're not like a super huge growth name in here. Don't necessarily, you've been trending down. I don't really love that at all on Cisco. But if I'm thinking, like the market's breaking down, there's a lot of places in the AI space, the chip space, to maybe look for the back end of the trade. The one stock that's up 6%, not going to be at the top of the list for me. Ultimately, there's really nothing breaking out the highs. So if Like if I look at Micron or look at Intel and I look at SanDisk, like, okay, I can see where I'm going with that, but like, why this one? Not today. Maybe a couple of days after earnings, we'll be able to see if it can, kind of hold those prior highs, or maybe even today it does that. But I'd be more inclined to think if it dips into the prior high today to actually maybe take a shot at the long there, then add that to the list of trades. So Cisco, not the sexiest name in the world, but hey, guess what? They beat earnings, and despite the fact that everyone says the market's overvalued, they do have a reasonable PE relative to a lot of their peers.
So this is a Cisco monthly chart. This is 25 years ago, and we are finally starting to break. So there goes Cisco. If you sat in this name for 25 plus years, welcome to zero return, but it's had a nice run, right? I mean, it's pretty embarrassing to look back and say 25 years ago, Cisco was at this exact level. That's $78 right here. Cisco today is at $78.37. So you're just now breaking through. So that's Cisco. So you've lost, what, 3% of your money every year with inflation and whatnot, and then let alone the opportunity cost. So Cisco's been pretty bad as far as an investment from time, but you're just cherry picking when you're looking at stuff like that. If you're looking at a daily chart here for Cisco, it's been well treated over this last little run up. Still with a PE of just 18 or 19 right now, underneath the market valuation here for Cisco. And yeah, I think networking solutions continues to work, man. Security, they're tied up a lot with government as well. So yeah, Cisco continues to work out, and it's had a huge move up. I would fade this pop. It's a big move for Cisco, especially into what is looking like a little bit of a red day here for the Nasdaq. But congratulations, Cisco. It's a 25-year mark, and you did it now. So that's great. Anybody that's been long this name for that long is probably not in it still. But if you are, there it goes. Nice move to the upside. And I thought that they were giving a little small dividend. Cisco, I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure if it's still intact, but I guess that would be a reason to hold it. But anyways, good number there for Cisco, but probably a fade. Just a good report, but maybe on the wrong day. AI stocks today and networking and all that kind of stuff, the big compute, continues to get hit here. Oracle down as well. So let's wait to see where Cisco winds up. But right now, good report, up 6%. I like the stock. Not super excited to trade it unless it's a short off 80, if we get to 80.
Disney downside, as we've been mentioning here throughout the beginning of the show. If you zoom out, however, you'll see on a daily chart or even a weekly chart, 110, around that 110 area, huge, monstrous level that it needs to hold. So we are trying to do that right now. However, some question marks off this earnings report.
No question about it, Brando. You miss on the top line. People are going to ask questions. So they missed 22.46 was what they brought home, 22.46 billion. The street was looking for 22.75, but they were able to shore up costs. EPS came in at $1.11. The street was looking for 105. It was really the good, strong margin recovery despite the top flat line, because their net income more than doubled year over year despite, missing on the top line. 1.44 billion was their profitability. Entertainment revenue, though, is the drag. Fell 6% year over year, pressured, as I mentioned earlier, by linear television, underperforming film releases, as well as weak ad revenue across their legacy networks. Streaming is the bright spot. Operating income rose 39%, and they added 3.8 million subs. Now they've got about 131.5 million, with Hulu accounting for 64.1 million of those subs, Brendo. Sports revenue does continue to grow, albeit much slower at 3%, but they're saying, look, we were spending a lot of money on this ESPN direct-to-consumer app. Next year, we should be more cost profitable.
So we'll see if we can hold 110, guys. Very, very important here for Disney.
Yeah, it's going to be an important open for them. I would almost venture, like if it breaks 109, not 190, if it breaks 109, I think that's kind of where the floodgates open up. And you've already bounced off it. So that's the support under the 200 period moving average for Disney. You can want and try to manifest things to happen for them. And there's a couple of kernels you could point to in what was overall like a mixed report. But the ball doesn't lie. Like, this was attempting to break the trend and going into earnings, and it's failed it. So this is the key hold today. I think, I would wait to see which side of the coin it ends up on. And then if it ends up underneath, it's a short till it's not. Like underneath 109, it closed under there, and it's a short tomorrow, and it's a short on Monday. and then go from there. If it closed above the 200 period moving average, I think you might have a bit of a bounce play. Let the market decide. Like, it's one of those, like, I think it's an epic potential breakout on Disney if it ever gets through this 125. But just because it looks good if it happens doesn't mean, that's the thing about a breakout trade. If it doesn't happen, you don't have to be in it. So I guess we're not going to be in Disney for a while.
Just put in the chat, like, wow, the market is getting worse and worse here as we get closer to the open. Like, had that feeling yesterday. It looks like it's continuing here, and that's too bad because the market, like I said, the Dow was at highs yesterday, and we had some opportunity to bounce. I just didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk about META here quickly because it's not going to be on the board, and I just didn't want to forget it. This breaking that 608 is probably a great trade. Like, this name has been really beat up, and for some reason it's flat here today. I think they'll look dead red for this name again. This name fell right here in the last basically hour of yesterday's, fell down $6 straight into the lows, and we'll see if META can hold out right now. We're right at that level. That's what I mean. Like, we came right into those lows there yesterday, so watch out for META. There has to be a META ETF that I can trade that's not $700, $600. But you guys let me know that in the chat because I really think that this is going to be a huge short for META. And then after that, man, you have $600 just staring at you. So like this name is due for like just an epic flush. And then I think once that happens, you can sit in there and start scooping because right now this looks to me like something that I didn't want to not mention it, but I really, really do like that. Yeah, so METU, people are saying, so let me just see. Yeah, see, we don't have that one.
FBL, but that's very light volume.
Unless, is METU on Amex? Yeah, no, we don't, doesn't look like we have that stock as I float through some of these there, yeah. So, okay, well, I don't know why we don't have that.
Which one?
METU, I think that's the best one. FBL, I don't think really.
FBL does not, the liquidity is not very good.
But like still, a break was a break, right? I mean, it's going to break that level.
But when it's priced at 28, it's a 3-cent spread. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, already 300,000 shares. All right. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up before we get going. But BABA with the AI news is the long that I am looking for right here today. So let's just go find out the story here, and we'll figure out how to properly trade META.
Leaking back to the downside, however, right now, along with the overall market, is BABA. I mean, we were discussing a few of these Chinese ADRs this morning early on. Most of them looking more weak than anything right now, including this one, Baidu. I just heard, yeah, nice little plunge there through 129 back to the downside with its own AI-related headline here this morning also.
Yeah, interesting look here for BABA, Brendo. Let's look. I thought we were doing Big Bear AI for some reason there. My mistake. Alibaba, not a bad look over here. Preparing a full remake of its Tong Y mobile AI apps. It's rebranding them as Qwen, which is obviously their large language model. Qwen functions much like ChatGPT, which adding advanced conversational features. Over more than 100 developers are actually working on the redesign, reflecting the larger push by BABA. And they also plan to add multiple layers of agentic AI into Qwen, something that they don't have yet, much like the agent mode that ChatGPT has. They're trying to monetize it. It's free for now, but they're aiming to build a user base before monetizing more advanced features. They want it to be a one-stop AI assistant, Brendo, much like some of the large language models we have here.
So all of these, again, Baidu with its own headline, JD.com with its own headline, even BABA, guys, worth looking at today.
Well, I mean, JD, we showed you that chart of JD. As I said, maybe today is the day that JD moves out of that range it's been in for basically a year. I just, I'm skeptical that that's going to be the case. Alibaba is actually moving. It's up 3.5% today. It's just a better looking chart in a lot of ways. And like, I reserve the right if something ridiculous happens on JD to move over to it, but I'm not going to go over that chart again. I'm just looking for the prior support to hold up. Like, you're sliding today, and as we pointed out before, this stock has dipped every single day at 9:30. Every open, there's been a dip. So why wouldn't that be the case here when the market is weak? So, I mean, the initial gap fill would go right into here, about 160, 170. Pretty much 162 is where I start looking at Alibaba. And on the longer time frame, it has a chance. I think it's a little. If it breaks out 170, I think you've got a nice little trend break off the high, and that would be a good momentum shift. So it's also potentially setting up for like some kind of a swing long. But if you were tuning in late, why not that interested in JD? Well, JD's telling you not to be. It's pure sideways action here. It doesn't, maybe it breaks down today, I don't know. Like if JD breaks 30 and all you know what breaks loose, that's probably a trade breaking down, or maybe if it breaks the upper end of the band. But sideways action is that stock, whereas BABA's a mover.
Yeah, look, I've already talked about this. I have BABA written down as my #1 idea here. I'm not actually bidding early here for Alibaba. I just want to see if this holds. So with the market coming to the downside, the mistake I made yesterday was buying Google early, like in the first minute or two, as it was cracking lower, but then the crack just kept on going, and we wound up getting smoked until eventually we found that AMD trade yesterday, which hopefully we can put something on like that again here today. But for me, Alibaba, this 160 to 161, as we had mentioned before, right, like some of these AI stocks continue to work out. And I mean, Alibaba here today, good talk. I really, really like this level down here of 158. So that's why I want to be a little more patient with the 160. But when we wrote this note, we were up at 165. I just figured making a move back into 160 might be something. It's not like as significant a level as it really should be, but there's the bounce rate there off 160. But then look what happened yesterday. So like if you were thinking yesterday, oh, I want to support that 160, well, you were smoked early, which is what happened to me in Google, right, is what we were just talking about. So, and then it finally found a base, and it didn't really get going at all, but then with this news, nice upside play. So I've wanted Alibaba for a minute here. My mind is trying to change. I just put a bid in the long-term account at 160, so I'll get filled there. I'm adding about 20 to 25% to my current position of Alibaba. You know, again, I like it. I like the AI. I think we still are in early innings, and I think this name's already been taken down a little bit here. So let's buy Alibaba. Remember, their report's in 12 days, so you still have some sort of leg room to go into that report. And you know, if the market bounces, people may try to get long before the report. And maybe we get some good reaction, right? We saw Cisco to the upside today, although a lot of the AI names have fallen down on their report. And 12 days away for that one, and less than that for Nvidia. Yeah. So,
BABA trades 17 times.
Yeah, I know. That's why I like it. That's why I like BABA and Tencent. So I'm trying to buy more of these names. But remember, they're at a discount because they're Chinese.
Well, it's a China thing.
Yeah, so.
But if you compare them to like Amazon, it's pretty favorable outside of the China risk.
Yeah, I like Alibaba. I mean, AliExpress, all these kind of things. I don't know. I don't trust buying anything off there, but you know.
As long as other people do, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I know. Brendan said some sort of a story. It was a couple of years ago. It wasn't AliExpress. It was something else, but they bought like a tailor-made driver and it like fell apart right immediately. All these kind of things. So I don't know, man. I guess you get what. Oh, maybe it was Temu.
Get what you pay for.
I don't know. I don't. Every time my kids say something about Temu, I'm like, you're just adding to a landfill somewhere. You know, but anyways. All right, let's go back over to the desk. I really like Alibaba today. We'll see if it can wind up working. And maybe we buy, someone just said you could buy it on close. Yeah, I don't know where Alibaba is going to go. The market's already down 0.6. Like it's not unheard of that we rally to the upside here. I don't know. I mean, it's only 0.6. The Nasdaq's been up or down 2%. It was down 2% twice last week, up 2% once. And this week it's been sort of a roller coaster as well. So let's wait to see what happens here with the Nasdaq. 13 minutes until we get the open.
And the irony of that headline. Nvidia price target hike.
Oh, did they get a hike today? Yeah. Okay, let's go find out what it's all about.
Yeah, let's keep going. I think it was actually Temu. But it was a video I was watching. Somebody bought a tailor-made driver off Temu, and the very first swing they took with it, the head went flying with the actual golf ball. So
can't say I'm surprised.
It was definitely not a tailor-made driver. A couple of notes on Nvidia this morning. Yeah, working on 3 days in a row here so far. We're down here. Working on 3 days in a row here so far this morning to the downside. Governor of Mexico's Nuevo León state saying Nvidia is going to invest $1 billion. This was yesterday. Invest $1 billion in a data center in Mexico. So,
interesting.
Along with a couple of analyst moves here today.
A lot of cash to throw around, Brendo. Let's talk about what the analysts are saying. Oppenheimer maintaining their outperform on Nvidia. It's analyst Rick Schaefer. He's keeping the outperform, but he is boosting the price target from 225 to 265 separately. Also, Susquehanna sees a bullish view of Nvidia ahead of earnings. Here's what they're talking about. They're boosting the price target from 210 to 230. keeping that positive rating on Nvidia. And here's what they're saying. We expect better results and guidance as the GB300 is expected to continue ramping in the second half. For DC compute, AI demand continues to be supported by an ever-increasing hyperscale CapEx plans. Brendo, they're saying the top 5 hyperscalers are now expected to increase CapEx by over 69% year over year for 2025, and they're even seeing a bigger move for 2026.
So price targets continue to go up. Actual price action continues to go down. Again, 3 days in a row potentially here for NVIDIA. Just keep my eye out here. Got a bunch of headlines just coming through. A lot of people still commenting on this Michael Burry story as well, guys. Scion Asset Management delisted or deregistered with the SEC. Only 155 million AUM, which I thought was kind of surprising. But Michael Burry apparently moving on to better things.
Oh, that number can't be right.
Okay, I thought they had a much bigger short even just on Nvidia and Palantir.
That's what I thought. But
155 million.
Leveraged, I guess. But anyways, yeah, okay. Hopefully he has the best of luck in the next segment of his life. And yeah, that's a weird one. But Nvidia, like, I don't know, like it's actually starting to pull down. Like, it's just working for you, bro. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Like, price target hikes when this just lost support. We just lost 191, which was yesterday's low, and of course it was Tuesday's low. And there's a bit of a gap to be filled underneath here. The only thing about Nvidia is, well, if you come at the king, you best not miss. So sometimes when you short, don't come at the king. That's kind of my approach today. Like, one, I'm already, like, I know I'm shorting a pop. I already mentioned this in Intel. Somebody else was selling at 38, so I want this breakdown. I just think if the market falls, this one's going to be a good one. And I'd be more concerned with the memory space today than, there was a Japanese memory company that reported last night. It was disappointing, so this entire group is gapped down. But you can see Sandisk already down 5%. So if there's going to be like a rollover day for some of these chip names, I look at SNDK, this 275 prior resistance level, maybe a little bit underneath it, as a top to work off of. And if that doesn't set up well, like I don't get a shot at it, Micron is also in play. It has a hard top at 246, and then even a flat bottom break at 240. And even if that one doesn't work, like the third one in there, I'll kind of go down the line. If there's no pop in any of them, I'm probably going to be in Intel anyways. WDC is already breaking down. So the one that's already broken down from highs is Western Digital. I'd prefer to get the others because they have yet to go. So I'm going to start with SanDisk, which we had to pay for locates here at Real Trading. I mean, Micron, anybody can probably short that one for free. But these memory names have been going absolutely ham. They're showing signs of a turnaround. And when they go up this fast, we know what the back end can look like.
So NVIDIA, I was just saying to Neil, like no matter what happens, I'm not selling any of my NVIDIA shares, so I have to look elsewhere. And yesterday I sold some AMD, and that's going to turn out to be finally a good idea. We didn't even get out at a very good level yesterday. We got out at 256. We didn't get out of that much. We sold 25%. We said, or maybe a little bit more, maybe 35%. But we talked about that on the stream yesterday, so that was a decent idea to get out of that. But I mean, it's still. Look, tomorrow it's going to be higher, and it might even be higher today. But just to say, it's had such a huge run up here, Advanced Micro Devices. And yesterday's huge trade for me was down here at 150. At 250, right into there when we had that move down. So we can wait to see if it holds, but I'm not getting like the same feels today for the long, but that's a good spot. Like we nailed it yesterday. If you're gonna sit on your hands this morning, why not just wait to see if AMD gives it to you again? But look at these lines, man. We're underneath everything right now, and it's not looking good. So for me, we don't really look at the 50. I always like to look at the 200 period early, which is $3 from here.
Oh, shoot.
So we still do have, no problem. We still have a $3 or $4 move higher right there for something to look at in Advanced Micro Devices. So if that comes in, we'll trade that. And then NVIDIA short, like Neil was mentioning there, I'd rather just look at AMD, at Micron, at some other plays. NVIDIA is still a monster, and you come at the king, you better not miss. I think we can come at AMD and miss and be okay with it. So let's wait to see. We put a lot of money on the board yesterday on this name. Willing to do it here again today. Let's watch out for that 250. I think if it takes it and we continue to go lower, that's probably going to be like an absolutely fantastic short. Give it to 251. So that break here of 250, I'd like to hit it immediately. It's just my first couple trades, and like I was looking at this yesterday, my first 10 minutes or first 5 minutes really hasn't been that great in this market because I get too aggressive. So I'm not sure I'm going to smash this early, but I really do like that play, man. I think AMD has a 240, low 240s today is what I am thinking, but I want to make sure we're right. So yeah, that's a great level, man. This is a 5-minute chart, and that 200 period is sitting right there. Wow, it feels like you're just shooting fish in a barrel here a little bit, but maybe sometimes when it looks like that, it's not. So I don't know. Oh boy. Okay, yesterday I said, remember, I was just feeling long, and we had longs written down on here, and then the very first move was like down 100 points. So let's be careful with it. The confidence is still super high. Like I said, we had a great trade on this yesterday, but I want to be patient, because if anything, I made good money on that trade, but I lost good money early with the Tesla long and the Google long. So today, let's be patient, which is all that I've written down on the sticky note. And Randy, how was that coffee, man? Good. All right, let's go back over. We now talk about Nike off of a great trade from On yesterday. They had a great report, and no surprise today that some upgrades and whatnot start coming for the shoe space and for some retail in general. Gap had a good number. Let's go find out what's going on with Nike, and then we'll look at those charts as Elliott Hill on the rebound as CEO.
Yeah, it's not all bad this morning as far as the individual names go anyways. Nike, 3 days in a row to the upside here. If you zoom out a little bit, it's not all great either. So we're coming off of that. So yeah, 3 days in a row on a bounce here for Nike. But hey, we'll take it, an upgrade.
It's Wells Fargo today, Brendo, moving it up from equal weight to overweight, and saying we're doing so because we see a clearer path to profit and stabilization of growth. It's analyst Ike Buruchow. He raised the price target from 65 to 75, implying a 17% upside, and he did so because he sees a shift in sentiment after 3 years of negative earnings revisions. He says Nike's P&L trends are bottoming, which is giving him better clarity about their model of recovery, and he's forecasting now full year 26 and 27 EPS to raise due to improving unit economics. He says Nike can exit full year 2026 with 3 to 4% revenue growth and about 200 basis points of gross margin expansions. He's saying, though, the largest drag is continuing to be their classic franchises. We're talking about the Air Force Ones, the Jordan ones, etc. But non-classic footwear is accelerating at a much faster pace. He's saying new silhouettes are driving incremental growth.
Back to the upside, as we said, although 66, a bit of an issue here so far. We've stalled out for the past half an hour or so at 66. Was a bit of a level if you go back 2 weeks here, guys, for Nike.
Something's up. Yeah. Nike, actually a strong name today. You've got to be kidding me. We're allowed to have good things. The vaunted, what I actually like about this is this could, I almost want this to settle down for a couple of days, do the death cross, then break out. Like signal the short for everyone that likes the death cross, and then go the other way. Like when it did the golden cross, after that was actually a sell. So I'm kind of thinking the other way. Like if people are taking that technical trade, you have a potential breakout, but that's maybe a couple of days away. It's not doing much in terms of volume pre-market, but this is, look, it needs to break out, in my opinion, and that's at $70. So it's going to be a bit of a pass for me. There's one name that just wanted to quickly cover. Remember Open Door? They've been running the last couple of days. I don't know, you may have noticed this. Down 5%. They were in addition or an upweight in, I believe, the Russell 2000 last night. So that was a lot of the move in the afternoon. As it pulls back into the prior high, like I'd be looking at this level here, about 850 to 860 on Open Door, where it really ramped up going into that close. But Nike, I think you might have a swing trade if it breaks out that 70, just not quite yet.
All right. Here's what the imbalances look like. You know what I didn't notice? Okay, you got to put my face on for this dramatic snap. I asked you for another coffee. Is there hazelnut over there? Snickers. I don't want Snickers. Snickers in your coffee?
It's not gross. It's like a creamer. It's really sweet. You have to put
I don't really like sweet stuff.
You can only put like a little drop of it you can use.
That's why I just, okay. But anyway, Snapchat there from $7 up to $9. That's pretty interesting. I didn't even realize that. Baba with a bid here as well as we get ready to rock and roll this morning. Some of you have asked for this to come out. This is what we're looking at. It's not it's not a big sell or buy area here. QBTS down 4%. These quantum names continue to get smacked around right here today. Again, IonQ, another downside push. Rigetti, they're all down 3, 4, 5% today in the space. Oracle continues to get hit here. Don't ask Adara her opinion on this stock if you're a bull. And then Disney with a small sell as well. Italian sweet cream? All right, I'll try one of those, man. A little bit Italian sweet cream action there. When did we even get these? I didn't even know we...
A couple months ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's... anyways, Randy is going to get another coffee. Because he made me get him French vanilla. And then that's when I saw the little creamers. I didn't even realize we had those. All right, 30 seconds to go. Disney still continues to hit the skids right here. But look what's going on with my guy Palantir. I don't know if there's news or something on Palantir. Palantir is ripping right now. I did not see them at all on our imbalance locator there. So Palantir with a nice move higher right there. Hopefully, this is a sign of good things to come because the Nasdaq is still down quite nicely right there. This opening bell brought to you by Beta Pro Global X. Scan that QR code, find out everything that they have with their triple levered products. So here we go, 3, 2, and 1. Get long, everybody. Get in position immediately. What are we doing? No, I'm gonna relax
Chill, Winston,
and watch the market, but that'd be hard for me to do. There goes Palantir right now. SNDK, you're looking at?
SNDK just dropped $6 right away off the open. Micron.
What about Tesla?
Why is Micron up? All right.
The market's trying to figure itself out.
Oh, well, I'm going to take a short.
Palantir.
SNDK just absolutely tanked. I'm going to try to short Micron here. Also, Intel just dropped a percent and a half right off the
I want to get in and I don't.
A couple of names heading to the south side. Not much else. Baba's not doing much of anything. Nvidia is actually not moving that much either.
Yeah, so I had written down short Palantir on the list today, right? And we didn't really get to talk about it, but I'm in here to 184, 185. I mean, just the way this market was, I was thinking if we can top out up into here for Palantir, then I do want to hit this short and get to the downside. This is where we had the drop off yesterday, right? So, well, we had the drop off early, but then we battled and then we went again. So like the second tranche of downside happened around 184, 185. So I was so close to pushing the key right there. And I said to myself, I've talked about trying to be a little more patient here today because yesterday we were already in at this point and, you know, suffering from downside. All right, Tesla, we had wrote down Tesla even to go short at 430. Obviously, when we wrote that down, you know, the market's over here, 426, 427, and then we just got hit to the downside. So that 430 call was great when we were writing the sticky note, but there's the drop in into 420 right now for Tesla, trying to find its ways, trying to battle off of this level right there. Looks like a 420 break is imminent. I put the sort of the nail in the coffin of Meta if it breaks. And you know what it did? It goes right to that 608 and stops completely in a nice bounce of $5. So hopefully we're completely off on thinking this market's downside, but right now it doesn't look super healthy, Neil, as we try to bounce a little bit, don't get much action. AMD bounces completely off that 251. We're still waiting for 250 for a little bit lower over there, but I'm not in anything and I'm starting to get a little anxious. Waiting for something to happen here. We don't need to jump in right away. Let this market settle out because some stocks are going opposite of what I thought here. The market's not doing anything. AMD's trying to go up, and I assume Nvidia is actually going lower. So AMD's going a little opposite of Nvidia here.
And it just broke 259 down to 258. It's down 8% already. Western Digital, I mean, these names are...
Yuck.
Okay, Western Digital hasn't broken the low yet. It's still, this one's still kind of in the pocket.
Here we go.
Can at least work off VWAP at least. Oh, you hooked us up?
Thank you.
You want Italian sweet cream in yours?
No, it's cool.
No.
Sure.
No, don't worry, it's all good.
Next time.
Dude, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, it's fine.
This cream is very sweet.
It is it's ridiculously sweet. It's too much. It's a lot of sugar.
It does, but it tastes like, I don't think I'm being trolled. It tastes like French vanilla to me. I don't know. I guess that's what happens when it's just all nothing but sugar. Okay, let's get into... I'll switch with you. I'd take that black over this. Too sweet, man. It's just too sweet.
It's fine. Yeah, I'll take it.
No, I've already tasted it. Whatever. Just in case I'm not feeling that well. I appreciate that doing that. I was more saying it as, I know, but I was more saying it as a joke. I don't want to. Remember yesterday I almost died live on the air, so you know we're back today.
Probably
we're back
don't
fine.
Want anybody.
No, well it was almost. I said. I'm back. All right, yeah, and then well, we almost died, and then we saw the light, and then we had our biggest trade. On
That
AMD.
graphic we have, like that sound we have, I can't get the soul glow, but we can have that anytime we want.
Oh, that sounds old though.
Yeah, it probably is.
I put the request. I put that in there. I put a request in the chat for a long time. No, I didn't hit it either.
Hey, Disney broke that.
I like when we're mean switching over there.
Flushed. Disney's down 8%.
Wow.
I should add that one to the list. It's so so silly. I was looking at SNDK instead of maybe just keep it simple. Now it's starting to bounce back. So SNDK is actually bouncing here. Let's have this one calm down in VWAP, and I got to make sure Western Digital isn't setting up better.
Tesla.
As I tried to get Western Digital back through 162, I think all three of those, Micron, Western Digital, SNDK, are potential good shorts for the whole day if this market wants to plunge. I might have to move this down on Western Digital. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pick that one up. Alibaba's starting to move down, but it's only at 163. Oh, Nvidia just broke the low.
All right, so I don't know.
There's no real bounce to really pop in here.
No, the Nasdaq's taking out the lows right now and just did. I put a short in for the Nasdaq up at 110, but that was just 2 minutes ago, so we weren't even near there. I was thinking if we did get a pop up to VWAP, I like the short in the Nasdaq. That's something that Sharif, man, that food smells too good, considering we had peanut butter and jam already. I'm sure you didn't grab too many of those, eh, Sharif? Oh, half of one. Okay, so what I had actually, I had half of one too. Okay, now I feel.
If you make peanut butter, you gotta throw jelly in.
Man, we all need to trade more shares. Like if we're going to pay for jelly around here, you know. Over there he is. Right. I agree. I thought there was jelly mixed in with it. I'm going to find out.
Maybe there was different types, but the one I had was all.
Here we go. Let me see what they marked down. So they marked down here. What today's Thursday, the 13th. It says, yep, you guys are right. It just says peanut butter sandwiches. That's all that it says. There's no Joe. We're not doing what's for lunch yet.
It's 9:35, Joe.
Get your hunger under control. I don't even have a trade yet. Okay, wow, Joe. What's going on? You cold over there, Joe? Joe looks like he's about to, Joe, you gonna rob a bank or anything? Hey, everybody, get ready, man. This guy's Joe, he works here. If you see a guy like this walking in, yeah, there goes Sharif. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's that much there, eh? Okay, so here we go. Advanced micro devices, looking for something to do right now as the market just bleeds through, man. But some of these names aren't hitting the skids yet. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's a long. We have Disney downside, as you mentioned. You're in SNDK
Open
now.
doors tanking too. Everything is tanking.
Yeah. But some of these chips, like AMD is right where it opened.
Okay, that's the one. That's the one I don't have.
Nvidia, maybe.
Like every chart I'm looking at is.
Oh yeah, Nvidia. Yeah.
I think.
Good call.
Math. We did not get SSR on this stock. Okay, well that's a little obvious. All right.
AMD though.
I see you at 261 on SNDK. So that's a scalp trade. I've literally never traded this stock before, so I'm going to respect when I see someone try to buy it up there at 261. I'm going to try to trade VWAP on this, but I'm going to show you here. There's SNDK.
I'm into AMD here. I don't know.
Whoops, that's the level 2. I wanted to pull up this chart. Like this is Intel. Nvidia is breaking the low of the day.
I know, it's weird.
But SNDK just putting in a higher low. Like the buyers are coming in here for some reason. Maybe this is not the one. So VWAP in there for a quick scalp trade. But when I'm seeing everything else break the lows, I don't want to be in the relatively strong name with that kind of a setup. Micron's above VWAP as we speak. So maybe those aren't the ones.
No.
As it's looking, this is actually good. Micron's about to go green here, believe it or not. So I'm not. That's leading me out of the memory names, at least for now, until they join the party more earnestly. All right, Baba's really starting to come back in. It's now at that 162. So Alibaba is filling in the gap.
That's so funny that you just said that about
the memory names.
Yeah, no, just short. Like I'm in AMD here, which is a strong. So I just took some out because it's a strong name into a weak market. We should be looking for longs, not fading a strong name. This is where I've gotten burned. I mean, we're flat on it right now. We're only short here at 80, so I can get out if we really thought so. And we just took some 75s, and then we took some 50s as well. So we've taken profit, but I'm out if this breaks 253.25 right here. That's where VWAP is. There it is. We're out. That's why we went short there. So kind of like we'll put our hands up now and wait because AMD is not the right short. If anything, it's a long right here as we just broke above. So regroup on that one right now. Took a little bit of profit, but eventually got taken out as you guys just saw, and I'm fine with that. Palantir, the short hits for us, but it was a little too early, so I didn't make that trade. Let's now wait to see what winds up happening. And again, the Nasdaq, we started the day down 0.3, and I was like, you know what, I was feeling that this was a short day. It looks like we're going to be right on that here without any shorts on board. As AMD breaks lower there, it hits that top and now back into the lows. So we can maybe, and then right back up. Okay, get away from AMD or else I'm going to get in trouble. All right, other than that, I do like where Alibaba's going. We wrote down 161 to 160 as a potential long. So if we can find something here worthy of Alibaba trade, then we can make that down to 160 would be nice. So maybe we wait to see if that can get going as well. And then Disney sort of started to lead us to the downside. Not that this has that much to say about the overall market, but it's definitely not helping there. Disney down 8%, as there goes AMD. So it's a good thing that we didn't like dig into this, because market low, AMD ripped City again off of kind of where we went long yesterday. We went long at 250. Today, 251 was the key. So so far, so good there. Let's wait to see what Alibaba's doing, and then we'll get to the super chats. They'll just see what Tesla's doing, bouncing in and around 420. So another key level chopping up here for Tesla, potentially downside if we break 420.
Yeah, we have some super chats to get to. The thing I'm looking for right now is actually going to be silver. It's trying. Oh, shoot.
There we go. Perfect. You got it.
I honestly, I didn't know that was a super chat. This is the chart, and this is the trend I was looking at, Day Trader LA. You're going crazy long on SLV. All right, just try to remember, this is a monster level. I don't know if you've seen, I'm assuming you've probably seen this already, but I'm going to show you anyways. If you're looking at silver, come on, just load faster. This is not only a monster breakout here on the daily, but you got to go all the way back, go far enough, and of course it's not showing me. You know what? TradingView is going to have to be the jam. Oh, I already had it up on TradingView. Monster high from all the way back into 2011. That's where you're trying to break out here on SLV. So it is a huge resistance at about 48 where we're sitting right now. But I like this look. Like, it's holding the low for now. It's got a clean trend down. Break that trend, I go long. Also, maybe even thinking about if it just holds the bottom a third time, looking for the long support, but I'd rather take the trend break. So I had that on the mind here in SLV for myself. So, glad you were looking at that as well. Okay, here comes Micron.
Yeah, now things are starting to fall.
Now Micron's starting to lose VWAP. That's a little more like what I wanted to see.
All right. Yeah, so like we went long on AMD now. Okay, good. So there we go. So we flip up a little bit here. We'll see if we could. It just went 50 cents in the money and I didn't take it. So that's a little silly there. Okay, there's the drop down. So we're going to lose this one if it breaks 251. Let's get out. I'm not going to wait for 250s this time around. No. So here we go. We're long right here, right now on Advanced Micro Devices on this dip down. I thought it was strong there. We went short already on this name. Remember, we stuck with this yesterday and got it. I don't know if we're going to do it again here, but we are long. I do have an offer at 50. Maybe we get a piece. Well, it's only for 10%. If we can get 10% out there at 50, where the 50-period moving average is, then work our way back to VWAP. We can have a big winner and sort of make back what we've done on this and just be flat. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait to see if it breaks 251 bottom there for AMD. If this market turns around, I know AMD is going to go. We've already seen the strength. And that's what trading is, right? You're putting your odds in a basket and seeing if it winds up turning for you, or if you're right on your theories there. So, but right now the Nasdaq continues to bleed lower. All right, well, we just broke 251, but that was a flush there. I'm actually going to break my rule a little bit there because that just flushed so quickly. I wonder if a lot of traders had the same ideas there about AMD, but oh man, darn, we started short. Got taken out there, and now we're going to hold this long. There it goes. And just to see if we can get some AMD strength back in. That was just a quick flush. We didn't have that many shares there. Maybe 250 is the key, but we're going to hold long and see if we can get an upside play here. And there it goes. In Advanced Micro Devices there, finally. Okay, so, all right. Wow. This is moving quite aggressively here today. So
the volatility is crazy. By the way, so a bit of a trend break in Alibaba. It did get down into that prior high.
Oh my God, Apple.
So there's the prior high. There's the bottoming tail wick. I just jumped into it. Apple is unabated.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I flipped Alibaba. There you go. That's better. The charts are so slow sometimes.
Yeah.
When the market's going down, Apple, it just seems like it's got so much strength. Limo in the chat, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on catching an Apple long today? Well, I wish it was on the list. It wasn't. Can't manifest it to being true, but it is at a top where maybe you can pull back a little bit into this prior high, like yesterday's high, at least gives you a dip area that's only $1 away, 275.40. But that's like if it ends up holding that random price. VWAP is also a great place to pick it up, 275, but I need to see it pull back and consolidate. It's obviously relatively strong. What would scare me is it's only up because the chips are down, and then that, like if that reverses, like if the chips catch a bid, maybe Apple starts selling. That would be the one thing that concerns me a bit. But BABA just tried to get some more shares in the 161, underneath 162, kind of in the 3/4 range, and wasn't able to pick any up. I think this is a potential push back into the volume weighted average price. And oh yeah, got to look at Disney.
Yeah, they're still down, eh?
I think it got really close to 10% down. Obviously, 10% down sometimes triggers an opportunity off of the lows. I'm not sure it actually tagged that. It says that it did not go SSR. So if it breaks this current low by much, not even much, it's going to be SSR on Disney. That'll be on the radar. So I'm only in Alibaba, and I need to pick up that one of these. Yeah, see that miss?
That's too bad. Oh, damn.
That's going to sting. Missed WDC. Micron is finally looking weak. And look what happened when this lost VWAP. Was there? Nope, nothing. It's just dying all over itself here. So pretty much everything is headed to the downside. I'm going to be shorting a pop in one of these memory names, and it feels to me like it's going to be Western Digital if there's any kind of a pop back into VWAP.
Oh man, finally AMD is failing, and but the thing is we already had that short up here, and now we've just battled with it at 250 and lost right there again. So frustrating here with advanced micro devices. Let's see if the futures finally want to figure out what they want to do here. Apple, you're 100% right on that one. That one is a runner there today. All right, so we'll sit here and just wait to see what AMD wants to do. You know, I don't want to get out so early on this name, but I thought it was strong, then I thought it was weak, and now I have no idea what to think. So 251, that was the level that was of concern in the first place. So maybe we just wait to see if it gets back up into there before we put on, you know, like a bigger short. But I still like the idea of a short here in AMD with the market falling down. This is now down 3%. We do, and maybe it's the strong one, and we're just going back to the well where we made money yesterday. But AMD was weaker. Nvidia is still down 3%. AMD, oh, that's Tesla, sorry. What is Tesla doing anyways? We'll just wait to see. Here comes AMD right back up, so we do get some more shorts into there. But Tesla right now, same kind of a way there. 420 just wound up breaking. So, you know, there are some weak holes in this market here today. Amazon hasn't been, I don't even know what Amazon's doing, but it hasn't been great as of late. Okay, so that's starting to head downside as well. So it looks like we short AMD, and, you know, it doesn't work through 250, right back up into 251. So it looks like this is just choppy, like losing on the long and the short same ways. So yeah, not having the same luck here today as yesterday, but we're only short right here at 250. So, you know, give it a little bit of a breath as we come back up to the upside here on AMD, and just trying to, you know, calm down, see what it wants to do. 252 is the VWAP right there as well. Oh no, actually VWAP's only at 253. So we could have a little ways to go here on AMD back up to the upside. Good trade there on Alibaba. I wish I would have took that 161 as well as we written it down, but you have it, so that's a good one there as we'll wait to see what settles with AMD.
Well, the answer to the question of whether it would be Micron or Western Digital was Micron. And I kind of should have, you know what? I still like this setup, but I was preferring in the moment Western Digital, but I was offering on Micron in the pre-market low. So I'm in it. Too far from VWAP, I think, so I can't really add to this unless we show a hold of the volume-weighted average price. And I'm going to end up getting Western Digital as well. But, you know, thankfully, I didn't go all in on this one. I don't think this is a better one. I'll get to Bob in a quick little second because both these names are starting to come back up. The market's trying to bounce, but WDC, WDC, Micron, and SanDisk were all breaking lower. But if we just start taking out VWAP, then the short is not going to be right here. So just above 159.5 is where I want to get out of this. Only one in, and I think we got it on the way up instead of the way down. Alibaba, just to recap, it's not at VWAP yet, but it did get to 163. So there was the trend break. Took some out 62s, took some out 62.5, took some out in front of 163. Now it's just whether it gets to VWAP or not. But once you get to VWAP, that's the recovery I'm looking for, and then maybe a long after that could be the case. But I'll cross that bridge if and when we get there.
Yeah, good call there. I wish I would have been a little more patient with that trade myself. But Beta Pro 3 times daily. Make sure you do check these guys out. They do have a new product. They're offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P and TSX 60, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. They are also dropping their management fee to 65 basis points until the end of this year. They have U.S.-focused strategies and use currency hedging, which is awesome for those of you in Canadian dollars looking for more pure performance and exposure. It's Beta Pro by Global X Canada. Go check them out, yo. And make sure you scan that QR code to get more information regarding Beta Pro and their products. All right, 252, like right now, it's becoming a problem for me here on AMD because it's starting to get rippy. Rippy. Not choppy, not anything like that. It seems like it wants to get to the high side there. So we'll put on something right now, short at 250.30s, out $1 right now on this trade. Looking for a move down, obviously, against that 252 VWAP area, basically the 50-period moving average. So here it comes back in. Let's take something out here. If we can, okay, there it goes. I say if we can get something in the 70s just to sort of take some profit on that last little push right there. But we need it to get lower if this is going to work out for us. So Nasdaq on a little bit of a come up here. Maybe we're hitting a level on the Qs that is a bouncing area. I was still thinking 25,000 maybe. Could come into play again. There it is. It's a nice dip down. We still have the gap fill right back into here. So, looking to see if we can, get down into 611 or so on the Qs, but it's already been a pretty nice move down, $7, $8. To get to 611 at this point isn't too far away. So let's hold out that maybe that could happen, but just for AMD as an individual trade, we have to stop out if that breaks through 250. So, that'll be where that stop is. Just wish we would have stuck with, that was a good trade for Alibaba. I wish I would have stuck there. And then the other one here, we had looked at Palantir short and we always used the 200 period. It just, when it was going early, I was a little hesitant to get in. Like I said, I wish I would have chosen other names, but that was a great one for Palantir there today. Yeah, boom, and then boom, right off the 200, breaking through VWAP, and now looking to get a little bit lower right now is Palantir. So, look, lots of names going through here.
We're really bouncing now.
Yeah, the market's really trying to go here. So there it is, man. We get stopped out of our AMD as it just hits VWAP, and now upside for Advanced Micro. We still have a little bit of it. Advanced Micro Devices, upside play here today. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, obviously, I didn't get to my mute button there. Sorry.
Yeah. People are saying bless you on that one.
I tried to be really fast, but I did not get to my mute button. So, excuse the allergies there. The market's really starting to battle back here. I did get the ad into Western Digital, so I'm in it underneath VWAP. Thankfully, it hasn't broken stop yet. And ultimately, if it does, then I might be waiting until 165 on that bad boy. BABA seems to be slowing down a little bit at that 163. So that last push into VWAP hasn't happened yet, but what I have not done is move my stop. So no longer stopping it at the prior bar. If it loses 162, I'll jump out. Like the market was downward trending. Like it was relatively strong. We should be blasting higher, and we're not exactly blasting higher, but the short on the way back up has been a fail. WDC just blew it out. In my head, this stock is a New York stock. I don't know why, but it just blew it out. So I don't know if I'll be in this until we get a close underneath the volume weighted average price. I'm shorting it going into it instead of the other side of the trade, which I think is a better opportunity. So wait for it to close underneath, and that would look a little bit better. The other thing that I did not get for a short, which clearly, as usual, when it bounces, short the pop in Intel instead. It goes to VWAP and loses it. Yeah. At no point has Intel been above the volume weighted average price today. Like not since yesterday. But then I short WDC instead.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I was doing the same kind of thing here, thinking about like what to trade, and we wind up getting in the wrong names. Okay, so Apple right here, 275. They had a great run early, and now the fade right back into VWAP again. So these are the kind of plays that you're looking for, where you rip to the north side here, and then just the fade back into VWAP, and then looks like we have a little bit of a gap action right there. I don't know if we're expecting any numbers or anything today.
No, it's only Fed speak.
Okay, it's only Fed speak today. So okay, watch out now then for Fed coming through, and I don't know what they're going to say. It's nice to have the market, the government reopen again. Maybe there'll be some talk about that, but yeah, we'll wait to hear what Fed has to say exactly. All right, shorting the market could be something, but that's not until 25.5. We don't ever want to get too involved in that until we get back to VWAP. Right now, market's still down 1%. Remember, we started the day, or we opened the show at 8:30 when we were sort of up about down, but 0.3, 0.4, and then we had that nice move to the downside. It wasn't based on any sort of imbalances or anything like that. We looked there and there wasn't much going on. But right now, Apple's starting to tick higher, obviously. Tesla off that 420, I'm going to assume is, what? See, this is the thing, like I'm short here AMD and getting ripped when all these other names are actually moving sort of the way I thought they would. I thought AMD was going to be a short today through that 250. We were wrong. If anything, it bounced so nicely off that 250 that we should have had it again up there, but we don't. So
the irony of this move down when Scion Capital goes up, he gives up.
But is that true? I just don't know about that story, man.
I want to read it for myself.
Yeah, same. I'm not sure what that story is.
Yeah, I really want to read that one for myself. It doesn't seem
150 million under management. Is that what he said? Like that
I think I just got top wicked on.
Yeah, we might have had the wrong.
I just got top wicked on WDC.
Well, that's gonna happen.
Like, look at it. There's the top wick. That's my out. You're already back underneath the volume weighted average price. So it's a fail for the timing of the entry. Like, it might still end up good, but I need to jump back into this if I'm able to here on this bad boy. We just got another super chat. Keely Deely. Is it the Keely Deely one? Okay.
We'll put it up. Yeah,
right.
always put them up.
Keely Deely. Thank you. I just thought there was a couple in there. Open Door. Yeah, I absolutely missed Open Door. But you can only really look at a few things at a time. And at the moment, BABA set up, and it is what it is. BABA was at the right price. Open Door came right in. Like right into the breakout spot. Remember where we said the buying started going into that buy imbalance? That is exactly where they bought this bad boy up again. So,
AMD just...
You know, like I can slap a fail on that one, but you know, you're looking at one or two things at a time, and ultimately that probably is a much better trade than Alibaba at the same moment, but you know, BABA's the one that I was looking at, so BABA's the one that I'm in. I don't mind joining an open party if it can hold $9. Nothing wrong with that. But it has done this dance before where it kind of retests underneath VWAP and then eventually gets going. Like the best longs in this stock didn't happen until 2:30 in Open Door. If it's going to go, you got all day to get in. So I think I have all day to get in myself. But that was a miss. That's a big miss, actually.
Okay, yeah, Open Door. Yeah, we were talking about some crazy movements here today. AMD just continues to go, man, right back up into the 200
they're
period
all too strong.
Moving average. These things are real super strong here today again. Micron, yeah, I know you were looking over there. All right, what about IBIT then? Let's have a quick look at some Nasdaq, some crypto. 103, so that's been a nice little bounce backside right now for that space. So we can see if there's any sort of love here for IBIT trying to break through 58, 59 here as well. I think Apple was probably, you know, the right idea-ish for Apple, so we could have a quick look back into that and see what's going on. But AMD continues to make its march higher. Starbucks, Marvell. Let me see what Marvell is doing. It's hitting the scanners here as well. 86, so downside for Marvell, obviously, as some of these names continue to get hit. Downside right now. Yeah, ARM probably.
Oh, yeah, it did. Oh, that was.
Did ARM make a move down? You know what?
My bias gets the best of me because I'm long on my personal account. This one was a flat bottom break of epic proportions, but it only went down $2. All right, I'm into Intel now. So as the market comes back up, all right, this is the weakest of them. If it's not going to be 38 where they sold it before, then I'm going to play off of this 37 prior low, going all the way back to the 7th. So Intel, the last of the chip names to break out, it seems like. So we'll go for this one underneath the volume weighted average price. Alibaba, I have to decide if I actually want to reload this. Like, I'm leaning toward why are we back down here? I don't think I'm going to reload this. I'm going to leave the trail in, get out, and look for a better entry. So right now, like the trail puts the last little bit would be close to break even, maybe slightly up, but it doesn't really get to VWAP. If you put in a higher low, there might be a chance to start working on trend with BABA. But you can't really have it both ways. It's higher lows and lower highs. So until it resolves that one direction or another, I don't want to add to that trade. Another one, Willis Addison. Please tell me you're short SNDK. I was, but then I didn't like the price action that I was seeing on it. It's so easily pushed around. It's holding VWAP as well, but kind of look at that. Hold the low, forming a wedge. It could easily break out higher as we speak. And if it breaks out higher, I think it gets pretty nasty. I'm starting to think about 15-minute candles here because we're getting close to 10 o'clock. So instead of like getting chopped around, maybe having the eyeball on the 15, and if we close on this 15 holding underneath 64, then I'll like this a little bit more. But I don't need this market breaking back to the top and then forcing the action on a stock whose daily chart, whoops, that's still on the monthly because I was looking at, what was that? We're looking at it on a monthly. But look at the daily chart here. If this decides to have already caught a bottom, it can get really nasty for you. So we'll let the 15-minute chart decide whether I get back into that and maybe stick to something which is a little more calm, like Intel in the short run.
Yeah, this I'm still on AMD, and it's not calm at all here, but just the swipes on AMD is crazy. Yeah, looking to see Palantir at 180 now. You know, underneath VWAP, underneath the 50-period moving average, if we can get some AMD love in and around this area, I think we're here for that. And we can see if we like that kind of a play here for for Palantir. You know, Advanced Micro Device is not going short, it doesn't look like. So we'll have to be as patient as we can be with that kind of a trade now. But 255 incoming there as it just broke for, well, okay, we didn't mean to get out there at 255 as it looks like we did. Oh no. All right, so we're short. We'll go short now. 255.25 is what we want to do here on Advanced Micro Devices. So we'll see where that goes. And yeah, there it goes, breaking now through. So that was a big fail on that one. Oh, I typed in AMD. Oh, that's AMD price, but not the AMD chart. Okay, there it is, breaking higher on the short. It's too bad because we were long at that bottom too, at 255. All right, so Palantir looks like that'll be the one that maybe breaks back up. I don't know. I'm only trading the name that's ripping here today, which is bad. Palantir continues to make new lows, actually, just touched 178 again. So this name continues to look weak. And then it's the Apple strength, I think, today that surprised me initially. But now it's come back in a little bit here as well. So, okay, let's go back over. Yeah, big time fighting the trend there on AMD. Let's go back over to Adair and figure out what's going on.
No economic data today, guys. This market is certainly trying to recover a little bit here off of these lows. Now, of course, the government shutdown did end. It was the largest in U.S. government history. And we already have some commentary in terms of what data we will or will not be getting, even with the shutdown closing. Kevin Hassett, who is the White House senior economic advisor, he was saying just right before the bell that they don't think we're ever going to be getting unemployment, though there will likely still be jobs data for October. So interesting look there. Again, I have a feeling we'll figure out what data we will and we won't get as time progresses, but I'll always keep you guys updated with anything I personally see. Take a look here at Nvidia NVDA getting hit pretty hard today, despite price target increases from the likes of Susquehanna and Oppenheimer ahead of their Q3 2026 or fiscal 26 earnings next week for NVDA. Apple actually the strongest Mag 7 name here. I'm just checking. Still the strongest Mag 7 name, it looks like. Bloomberg reporting that the company has reached an agreement with Tencent for a 15% fee on the WeChat mini games purchases. So that was a good look here for AAPL. And then we had CSCO. This one gapped up, though. As you can see, it's given up a lot of that early strength. They did have Q1 2026 earnings, beating on EPS, beating on sales, better than expected Q2 guide, and raising its guide for fiscal 2026. Before we send you back to Sean and Neil, we'll take a moment here to thank our friends at Origenics. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. But NYSE listed Origenics, OGE, and is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more. Schedule a meeting today. Back to Neil and Sean. Make sure to like and subscribe.
All right, thank you, Adair. We finally started shorting something different. We shorted the market, so there it goes right now. It's trying to fight AMD has been ridiculous all day. As now it finally honestly, nice move to the downside right there for AMD now as we're out. But we flipped up gears and are happy we did it because you know, we're back in now, finally finding our groove here on a little bit of a short now with the Nasdaq. So yeah, we were feeling red today, and it looks like that's exactly what's been happening there. But yeah, AMD still bane of my trading today, but we're still in this TQQ short. Let's see if it does manifest itself off of this 50 period, and then watching out to see VWAP there as a break. So if it does come back up here, we'll try to get a little bit more, but just noticing that there was a potential top right into there. Let's see what happens today with this TQQ trade.
Yes, sir. And you know what, everybody? Your heart will beat 100,000 times today, on average.
Kaboom.
And every beat is a data point. AIML Innovations, which is AIML on the CSC, also find on the OTC, turns that data into potentially life-saving insights with max yield, an AI engine that filters noise, labels each heartbeat with lab-grade precision and shrinks ECG analysis from days to minutes. Their mission, to revolutionize how heart disease is detected, monitored, and prevented. Learn more at AIML.health and follow at AIML_Innova on X, everybody. So shout out to them. Well, I got that break even out. It was probably the right thing to do because Alibaba is absolutely tanking now. It's about to break the low of the day, and we got another super chat. Okay, WDC is about to finally break the trend, but Nathan Pena, XRPC went live today. Thoughts? Oh, that actually slipped under the radar. I can't promise we actually have.
Probably not if it's brand new.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes, no, I don't think we have it in the platform today, so I can't really call it up there. I can probably call it up. I don't have any strong thoughts about it. I mean, I like XRP. But I feel like the day that the ETFs come out isn't always the best buying opportunity. So it doesn't make me feel bullish. And of course, the market is feeling really bearish today. Wish we had that one in the system. I'm sure it'll be there tomorrow. That's usually how it works out for us here.
Yeah, it'll be there. It's got to do a certain amount of volume before it gets approved to trade, right? So thanks for the comment in the chat, man, about the pivot. Yeah, we pivoted, man. It's just... We were long, and then we just went short. We found the market, and there it goes to the downside. I was just mad because we lost too much money there trying to chase and fight the trend there on AMD when we should have just stuck with, you know, the trades that we actually had written down here, including the Alibaba long, the Palantir short, the Tesla short, and then the TQ short, which we're finally in right now. So yeah, after some tipsy-turvy moves by yours truly here, trading, not great results there on Advanced Micro, but we're back into the game right now with this short on the futures. So that's your TQQ level right there. We'll see. We'll just see if it holds. I don't really know what it wants to do here. So we're just going to put some orders out, get some fills. We already got some fills down here at 70s. My next fill was at 50s. Trying to think about maybe changing that and just maybe getting it all out. But if the move does happen back into the downside, you know, we want to have something on. So let's be a little conservative, get something out as we've just seen it on the way to the downside there. We're out of about 20%, but here it comes ripping right back upside again, as this market is definitely like jittery here. You know, still want to be patient where we reshort it though, right? We'll take something. I'm actually at 60s here. We'll take that around the 60 marker if we can get it again. Like I want to try to play off these highs and then use VWAP. So I don't want to get too many shares down here in case it's wrong, because I do plan on holding this up to 109. So let's give this a little bit of a second breath here.
Nvidia is trying to go
back up. Okay, well, I can imagine AMD's going, yeah. Yeah,
Nvidia right here could be testing VWAP and potentially busting it. If that happens, I did get the re-enter on WDC. I'm just going to show you this way. And WDC, right underneath that pre-market low, but as we're bottoming out here, I'm not going to move my stop. Don't need to move the stop. It's above the 160. I'll give that extra quarter. But if you break out, there might be some reversal longs that I'm not considering right now. But I will do this, which is ring. If you're bouncing off a double bottom and the market's going higher, like there it goes. WDC comes out and the spike, just as Nvidia was spiking in Intel. No. This is the one that's going to be the reload for me. It's the one that's holding on trend the most. And the other one that I forgot all about, and I deserve it for this, every single day for the last 5 or 6 days, you've just been able to short SMCI off the open, and the first bounce goes to VWAP, and then you can short that too, and then you can hold it all day long. Well, okay, maybe you didn't hold it all day long here, but look at the move. You'd be happy with that anyways. There's VWAP, there's VWAP, there's VWAP, there's VWAP. SMCI.
Anybody know where VWAP is? Or?
It's so frustrating because I've really never traded WDC before. And it was weird. Like SNDK was good. I was like, that's kind of weird. I don't like the way the price action was. And then went over to Western Digital and read on it. When SMCI has been the same short it was every single day for the last 5 or 6 in a row. But this market is trying to go. And if Nvidia is going to break out above VWAP here, there might not be much that can contain it. I don't want to forget for everybody here about Apple, because Apple's also showing a bounce off VWAP itself. So you have a strong name like Apple bouncing VWAP. You have Nvidia trying to take the volume-weighted average price. That makes me feel like I should be flipping into some longs.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Ultimately, but like the strongest one is actually chasing the highs, which is AMD. Like AMD's the strong one right now.
I mean, that's for sure. I should have bought the dips in AMD, but I thought we did a good, here it goes. I thought we did a good pivot here by going short into the Nasdaq. But again, like we said, not necessarily how violent the moves are, but just how we were up 2% one day, down 2% the next day, up 2%, down 2%, starting to make some moves around town here. And it looks like right now that dip buy opportunity in the Nasdaq was the right thing to do, as we've made it all the way back to VWAP. And now basically this is why I'm short, like we're right back to open prices here again. So like, I don't know, maybe the market's not a short after all. We got, sort of hit there, not us hit, but hit the market. Well, I got hit too, but hit the market down to the downside there and now trying to make moves higher. So let's just give this a little bit of a breath here and see like how far will this market go now? It's essentially turning green in the open session right now. So good little bounce back here for the Nasdaq, for the ES, I'm assuming, for everything. Yeah, ES, they're both sitting near and at VWAP right now. So definitely something to look at. Is not the Nasdaq today. It's been pretty choppy, both up and downside. We're still going to hold out, man, just another 20 cents or so to see where this winds up going. But yeah, not good here as the Nasdaq continues to push up into VWAP. So yeah, not great. Thanks for some of the nice comments. I saw some flash there on the screen. But we have another super chat. Sure, we can talk about it, Andre there. Ooh, I haven't even had a chance to look at Cisco yet today.
That'll play.
Yeah, let me go. I can have a quick look at it. I just want to see if these futures
it's right back. Well, obviously, I guess it didn't really hold much of the gap there. Calls November 21st expiration, so last week. I'm assuming Willis
swung 77 calls. Okay.
Get yourself out.
November 21st, so he has a month. A week still. Okay, what is the price right now?
77.
Okay.
Oh, you just took them now? I'm kind of curious about that. Yeah, just if you could clarify, I don't know, like if you're swinging or swung. Swung suggests to me you already made the play pre-earnings and they're just sort of happy about it. But Cisco's like everything else. Trend has been so, look at how clean that trend was and then it fell apart. If you break this trend, like the market's going back higher. These guys had a pretty solid quarter and priced pretty well. If you break this trend line, that could be a pretty solid long. But actually, the funny thing is I'm looking at almost the exact same setup on silver. There's your trend down, and it's right at VWAP. So I was eyeballing this for a break, but I'm seeing the same thing on Cisco. It's a matter of whether this market's going to be super strong. Then you need that strength to follow through right here at VWAP, and then it can go blasting. But we're starting to turn around. Silver's turning around. Nvidia's slowing up as well. I'm seeing Intel starting to chop up a little bit. I might be able to get that reload in Intel. And thank you, Tim. Why do you guys not use GX and dealer positioning in your trading? It literally is the driver of the market.
What is GEX? Dealer positioning. I don't know what GEX is. So yeah, I'd love to use some sort of other tools for my positioning. Literally the driver of the market. So I'm unfamiliar with that. I mean, I assume that's not a stock or anything. I've never heard of GEX. Must be some sort of
it's option.
Oh, okay.
There's a pocket that you try to stay in as a trader, and I've said this many times. Like you can talk to Joe Fest. It's not about dogging new tricks. I mean, ultimately, I will admit I probably should educate myself better when it comes to options. And there's certainly opportunities around it, no questions asked. But what I tend to find is a lot of the best indicators in the market are showing up. They're showing up in the tape for you anyways. So like you get to a price level that matters from a liquidity standpoint. And generally speaking, you should have lots of ways of finding it. And if you know, a good one isn't in your repertoire, there's probably a few others out there. So that's the way I kind of look at it. But that's probably a good one for Joe. And then thank you for the question. But I will admit, like, if you always want to be searching for new,
for sure.
Whether it's indicators or strategies, whatever it might be, I think it does make sense. But like, I try to stay in my lane. I'm not an options guy. All right, maybe reloading the market. I was about to say that Intel was turning at VWAP. That was a minute ago. Now it's trying to close above and break out. Still under 37. So structure-wise, still well under that prior low. Here's a higher time frame like this. On a 15-minute, yeah, that looks kind of strong, but we're still under this prior low as well. So this has a chance to turn around. I just need some real confirmation before trying to fight this. Because like I said, this was one heck of a red candle to open on the Nasdaq and pretty much everywhere. And when you get followed up, one of these, with all green, it's distinctly different from some of our recent drops here. Distinctly different. And you don't want to get caught on the wrong side of this. Like, we could just be trending back into the upside. And then I'm looking for those trend breaks. So silver's probably going to do it for me. That was on my list anyways for a long, so I like to defer. If I can, I like to defer to long something I already liked as opposed to trying to make something else up.
Yeah, there's really no point in fighting all of these things over and over again, because I think I'm doing it basically with the futures, and obviously not having too much success right now. But it's more like just looking at names that are maybe a little more calmed down than usual, like an Alibaba that we had written down there at 161 as a potential long. Oh God. It's not like it's moving around that much here, Alibaba, but again, you know, potential long area here for Alibaba. Into 50, into $60 again right now. So we can, you know, have a look if that gets down to 160 and maybe try to be just that little bit more patient with that trade. But yeah, for right now, just a destruction here as we continue to watch the Nasdaq, which has been good, man. I mean, it's a nice battle back, that's for sure. Battling back now to the upside with this right into VWAP here for the Qs. So good couple levels there. I did want to look at the Palantir short again as well, just to see if there's anything happening over there. Kind of calmed down again, right? $180, nice drop down zone there. Could have, you know, didn't, but could have played that as an area of concern there. And we'll wait to see if it gets back up into those levels. But here goes again, like, let's just see what winds up happening here at VWAP. I'm short a little small position, not small position, but we're short here on the Qs, and it just looks like it wants to continue to go higher here. So yeah, this is not going to be a good one. There it goes. Going to break. I'm out on the high break, which is right there. So what about we just looked at Alibaba. Tesla, sorry, 420 break. Sometimes the trades are just right there for you, man. And this time it's Tesla and it's downside. Nice break there of 420. Wish we would have had that one, but instead we fight this market that just keeps going up. So yeah, man, not good. Got to get off these shorts. Today, AMD, we had the long at one point, then we shorted it. I still think the market, I said I thought the market was a short, but it's right now back right to where we opened. This is the opening level, 25.5, which is where we said we would maybe think about putting on a short at 25.5. But Tesla now breaking below these levels. Good opportunity there. Is it Nvidia that's battling back? I guess so, 190.
Yeah, but it's AMD's the strongest. Apple's already strong. Nvidia is battling back, and it's looking like, you know, this market is at the overnight lows now. You're above VWAP. You're at the overnight lows. I'm just trying to be patient with this setup because I want to stick to the plan. Like, I'd hate to finally be into a long that wasn't BABA and then take it before we actually break the trend. So that's what I'm trying to do here, being patient about this. Because the worst thing is like flip right here and then it holds the downtrend and then I'm at the low of the day getting punked. Now let's go to Adara. It's already almost small cap recap time. Not yet.
Look, guys, at TSLA, Tesla, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission announcing that Tesla's recalling their Powerwall 2 AC battery power systems due to fire and burn hazards and also the risk of serious injury or death. So again, recall here for TSLA. The stock was already down. It's not really moving on this, but just be aware the U.S. the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission recalling or announcing the recall here of some of these Powerwalls. Back to Sean and Neil.
Yeah, Tesla. I mean,
maybe that's
Tesla at the low of the day, and you have like AMD Meta at the highs of the day. Apple, of course, incredibly strong. All right, if this is the way it's going to be, We have some nice, whatever that noise is. That's
yeah, some nice drilling
nice
noises
drilling going
over
on
there.
still. Yeah, I'm trying to be really patient. That setup long is not happening on silver yet. It's really close. You have Intel trying to hold VWAP. I just do not like this one to the long side, which is getting me away from it. So I'm kind of looking at Open Door right now. And the reason I'm looking at Open Door is at least Open Door has a pretty clean upward trend which is forming. Like there's a couple of higher lows that syncs with VWAP. So when in doubt, trade a small capper that's been much more clear price action. Like a little bit goes down, higher low, like this one doesn't, like even if it doesn't work, like at least it makes sense. And I'll take that. I'll take making sense here. Hold the trend line, long off VWAP. Now we got dueling drills because now they want to make sure that we get maximum exposure to the work that's being done.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, put it up there because Chris was saying we missed it. Yeah, no more shorts. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no more shorts, but I'm in a short.
Usually
right
means when it's going to
yeah, so it's at VWAP right now, Chris, and I 100% agree with you. I shouldn't have shorted on the way up here, but like it was, I mean, look, it was AMD was really the problem this morning. For us. We had traded it well yesterday and maybe had too much confidence that we had the right read on it again. But here it comes right back in for us. We just took a fill there on the TQs and we got a decent sized position here. So let's just see. We just got taken out at 109.50. We might have wicked that top. We do have the 200 period here at 110. So we're looking to see if that maybe is the spot there. But yeah, we talked about this yesterday, trying to see about holding something just for a little longer, and that's basically what I'm doing. I'm trying to hold longer, get out quick, hold longer. And so we've been doing that. It's just the moves today have been pretty violent, which is why I went back to how Alibaba is moving, how some of these other names are moving, and they're not moving that aggressively at all. So it's just like I'm just in the futures and then, of course, in AMD that just really got carried away. Like, I'm glad we were able to get out, but yeah, the problem is we were short here and then got stopped out, and then the tank happened, and then I flipped over and was like, okay, under 250 is good, but then we got stopped out when it broke back above 250 and then shorted the 200, which I'll pretty much do most of the time, and that didn't work and we got out. So yeah, it's a hit because of the size that we're using, but I don't think the decisions necessarily were too wrong. Well, they were wrong, but where I got out, I'm happy with those kind of levels and everything. So I'm gonna be mad that we went short, but not really mad at the levels and the decisions to get out and to get in. It's just, I would kind of do them again. I can't predict this kind of a move when I'm looking dead red all day, and it's just when you look that way, sometimes it goes the other way, and even right now, that's why I said to Apple, like, see, I thought this was a long when the way it broke back up, and I was like, I would have thought maybe even here into VWAP a possible hold long, but then it broke lower again. So yeah, it's a little confusing here today. So I'm going to do the best that I can, and I think we've got it now. We're 70 cents in the money here on the futures. Let's see if it continues to tick a little bit lower, and we can get something out around 108.50. So that's going to be my sort of target area now, and we'll go to Adara and see what she's up to right now with an update.
I think it's right.
But here's what I'm up to. Let's talk about what these small caps are up to. We'll start here with ONDS, admittedly a little bit larger market cap, like $2.5 billion. But they are one of two names in this group of small caps that's actually an earnings play. So ONDS here, Q3 losses of 3 cents per share, beating estimates. They also beat estimates on sales, and they raised their guidance for fiscal 25. Let's talk here about NVVE, Nuvve Holdings. This one's rallied in the past. It is a penny stock right now, trading around 50 cents. They're Japanese subsidiary here, Nuvve Japan, concluding an aggregate agreement targeting existing stationary storage batteries in Japan. NVVE, guys, does happen to have a pretty small market cap, just under $10 million. And last but not least, IntelliCheck. IDN, this is the second of our two earnings plays in this small cap segment, beating on EPS and sales. Before we send you back to Neil and Sean, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Trade the Pool. For too long, trading meant risking your own money. We're never having enough to start. The fear of losing. That's okay. So many traders on the sidelines, but guys, that's now changing because Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funding capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside, which allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit that profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. Back to Neil and Sean.
Thank you very much there, Adara. So we got another super chat. Before we get to that, just as we got the dip on open, of course it breaks the trend. It hasn't closed under the trend line, but once it broke 9, I'm going to be out of it. If it ends up closing, like if this is a bottoming tail wick and we close or regain, I can jump back in. I did get the breakdown of Intel. If you could quickly, I missed the super chat, so if you could throw it up on the screen for us to be able to see. Manford Man, what are we waiting for in the market or government to get things ripping? I think the problem is, overall, the market was kind of up during the shutdown. And so now, all of a sudden, I don't know if we're waiting for anything. We're not getting economic data. And ultimately, we were through all of the biggest earnings. So the reality is, I don't think there's something other than maybe data, future data, that could really cause some kind of a move, to be honest with you. We're still waiting.
I was just going to confirm the market actually was up during the shutdown. There is an infographic coming out very shortly to show the market move during the shutdown and how it compares to past shutdowns in the last 3 decades.
There you go. And so technically, it's kind of like a sell the news event. If you think about it.
Yeah,
Right? Like the news, the news ultimately here was that, hey, the shutdown's over. But if we rallied into it and then you get the good news, there's a reason why they say buy the rumor, sell the news. Like it's kind of tried and true. And yeah, we could be seeing a little bit of that today. There's some, obviously the chip names giving it up a little bit, a lot of exuberance here. But it is worth mentioning, as I get back into Intel again, AMD is still managing to lead the way. Like if this doesn't break trend,
when am I going to short that thing again?
If this thing doesn't break the trend line, then I suppose we should just be breaking out 260.
Got to 260 again.
That being said, it is breaking the trend line. So like the strongest chip name is breaking its trend right now. So I re-entered Intel at VWAP because I think it's weaker, and I promised myself I would at least pay for locates so that if there is another pop in SMCI, I can go over to that one as well. But sort of sticking to, all right, if it was weak, let it try to remain weak. So the re-entry at the volume-weighted average price in Intel is the only thing I'm in for now. As, yeah, the market is selling the news for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so far anyways. I mean, I was impressed with that run-up they just had against me there. But look at Palantir, man. Again, like another good call, but not in. As Palantir, again, just the VWAP, the 200, the VWAP again right there, and then whoosh, downside there as the market. I think the market potentially bouncing. I am getting out here. We just took $1 on this part of the short. So that's Christopher Ocean. So it's just like, we'll be red on the futures, but not. Well, I mean, it's position pending. If we can get out more at 50, then we'll be flat. But, it's the AMD is what screwed me up early. So here comes the push down again off the 200. We'll see if we can hold. It's the 50-period moving average that's the case. I'm at 108.40, so right here, right now. Give it to me as we, there, yes. Okay, so there's that out. So that now we're into a club a little bit here. Hit the wrong one. What's up, Ozan? Now we're starting to come back in. Good trade alert here, but just kind of making back what we lost in the first place there. So not great, but nice move to the downside right there. What did someone just say there? Shorting AMD. Yeah, just opened a small long. Okay, yeah. No, I'm staying away from AMD, so I'm not going to short anything right now. We crushed it yesterday, crushed on it today. We'll wait to see if it battles itself back. Now, AMD's actually, just to talk about it, because it doesn't matter, I've already showed you my trades. You now are underneath the 21-period moving average, but for me, I know you in your chat, you might have just started a long, but I'm looking down here where there is apparent support of 255 and 254 with VWAP and all of that. So there is some potential support there where we bounced around a little bit before taking that next leg higher. So good on you for starting if you're starting it now. Hopefully it will work out and we can get back to the upside. Obviously, I'm favoring the short as I remain $1 plus now in the money on. I'm gonna take out some more 40s here if we can get it. There we go. We got 41s again. No, there we go. Now we get it. All right, come back in, man. We're also at 108.11 right here, just in front of 108. And then maybe we're getting something down here again if we're lucky enough, 107.75, put $2 and change on the back of this trade and make a little bit back here so far. But yeah, Andre, I mean, whenever you're ready, we can put up the super chats at any time. Just let us know that you're going to do it. She's never allowed to wear red. Yeah, sorry, Adara. But
yeah, it's all her fault.
We got a super chat about the red. But you know what thing is that the red looks really...
That's not how that works.
Yeah. Red, yeah. The market, there's actually... Thanks, Adara. She's in all red. I don't think it's really been working. So, but yeah, that is a little bit of a jinx, and we do want to thank you for all of that.
But I mean, you know, if you actually care about the market going up, you could just elect not to wear red because, that would just be a foolish thing to do. I'm being ironic because I'm literally sitting in red myself. But thankfully, no one cares. Your take on Netflix, relative strength. Netflix, 1140. Oh my goodness. There hasn't been a red day in a hot minute for Netflix. And look at there's a rounded bottom, which broke out yesterday and took the 200 pre-moving average. It's a little bit station to station at this point, and blame the market potentially for it not breaking out the 50 period today. I feel like this would have, I feel like this would have already happened if not for the weakness that we're seeing in the overall market. Because it's strong. It tried to break out the top right when we got to VWAP. That is exactly when Netflix was trying to break out this high and failed it. Relative strength only goes so far. At some point, if we just keep selling, even a relatively strong stock like this is probably going to pull back. But you got a good one in here off that 1140 level, no questions asked. I liked it. I was kind of hoping, actually I said this morning to somebody, or last night it was, that I was hoping the bloodbath in Disney would give you a buying opportunity in Netflix. I think you buy that dip. Netflix just didn't dip. Adara?
You keep an eye on Bloom Energy. Someone in the chat mentioned this name. I looked into it. I have not been able to find any news as of yet. Apparently, leveraged ETFs are now available for this one, but highly doubt that's the news. I'll continue to look into this, though, to see if there's anything else. I do want to keep you guys posted as well. Citigroup analysts saying that they believe October CPI and jobs data might still be released. Now, as we heard earlier, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett said that jobs data does still exist for October, though unemployment data apparently does not. And again, we've also heard some conflicting talks from the White House as to whether or not there was jobs data collected or just data in general collected here. So again, October CPI we might get along with jobs data, according to analysts from Citigroup. Back to you.
Okay. Nice strong day for Meta. I mean, considering where the market is, we talked about that 608 level, and we looked at this early. And remember, I was like cautionary tale if we wind up breaking, but the complete opposite happened. We don't wind up breaking, and I mean, the level's perfect right there for Meta. Just a couple bounces, and you know, you are kind of, I don't know, you're just kind of picking and choosing what charts to look at certain times. But, you know, if you had some sort of a inclination that maybe Meta was going to bounce at some point, it kind of got going immediately off the open. It didn't even really give us that break of 608. So, I mean, we were right there, right at, you know, 5 minutes before the market, and then the market kind of got going, and this is 25, 30. So this is where we opened up right here, 611, 612. So I could see that this was a hard trade to get because move up to 614, back into 610 again, pretty bouncy and choppy until now. Some upside play finally for Meta, and good on you guys, man. 617 looks to be a decent level there for Meta. I just saw in the chat about SoFi. I love some SoFi, so this coming back in is maybe worth it to start picking something up. We're still waiting for 50 period moving average. That might come in right here. The last 50 period I used was down here at 25.50, so that's my last long, but this is coming in quite nicely too. Wow, 7%. I dare not look. Okay, good. Joe's not here because I don't want to upset him. Let me just see what's going on with Robinhood in case there is something going down with this one. Just because
no chance that's up.
There it is. Yeah, I was going to say because SoFi's down, obviously down goes Robinhood, and I still think this has double digits attached to it, but I think the $100 is going to be an interesting level and probably worth picking something up in and around there. But down goes the market, man, and glad we have this one at least to the downside now. So finally, we battle some of these moves here, but then get it on the back end here with the TQs.
Yeah, the back end seems like it's in. And even on an AMD just broke the trend line. I was waiting for a little bit more confirmation because that's what you would do when it's this strong. And this topping tail candle and then a little bit of a follow-up here off 57 Now I want to see if I can get something in front of that 57 level. It's a little tight to VWAP, so it would be a relatively tight stop if I'm able to get it, but I think that's going to be the plan of action. The market is heading back in, and even if you look over at something like Apple lost VWAP and is headed toward the low. Like there's not a lot that's holding up in this last move down. Meta is also pretty close. Like it's also breaking trend as we speak. So like Apple already did, Meta's doing so right now. AMD is kind of doing the same thing, and those were the strong names here today, of course. Waited just maybe a little bit too long on AMD. Oh, the other thing, Joe might like this. Because, you know, if you look at Bitcoin, it's not breaking the lows. If you look at this accumulation look at this chart and look at the accumulation here in the afternoon of resistance turning into support. The market, if the market gets to the low of the day in the Nasdaq and breaks it, and Bitcoin does not break this bottom, this is 101.8 or so, and hundreds all the way down there. Like that means you have some relative supply strength here in Bitcoin. So if we break the low and I see this hold, I'll be looking long Bitcoin. We're a long way from that. I think the shorts to the low of the day, at least for now.
Okay. I mean, it just took a minute. There we go. All right, now $2 in the money on these futures, man. Honestly, my whole day is AMD destruction. If it wasn't that, wow, we waited and we did really well. Like now we're well below anything. Like I'd probably stopping out too quick. And we talked about, maybe lowering the share size and all that. So this doesn't keep on happening, but it still keeps on happening to me. But there it is now. It takes some more out at 50. There it goes. So now we're officially now $2 in on the futures. So see you later to the downside there. So yeah, good trade finally on the Nasdaq. But yeah, just never have enough when it's right and always have too much when it's wrong. But AMD, and again, like someone tried to throw some shade there on AMD and saying that they were going long up there and trying to say that I screwed up on that short. Definitely I did. But now that's coming back in, and watch out for VWAP, watch out. I said that if you're gonna go long AMD, it may be in and around these areas. But yesterday my AMD call, like I told you, was biggest trade I put on. But right here for the TQs, this is trying to do something special here as well. We just got in, Neil mentioned maybe the Nasdaq getting in the low of the days. This is pretty close for me. I'm gonna take out one more piece here and then we'll see about trying to now hold the rest and see if we can break lower. But we have to respect the fact that we basically have the exact top here on the NQs, and now trying to get something out near the bottom should be fine. If we break lower, great. Like I said, the Nasdaq could go 2%. I'm not calling 2%. It's just, we do know that it does have the pedigree, especially this last 2 weeks, to make pretty violent moves. So that's why we hold this, and now we get rewarded a little bit for this downside push. So here we go, it's you and it's finally starting to get lower. You probably heard the same thing. Yeah, Kashkari now speaking, talking about some pressures in the job market, and but I don't think that's anything that we don't know about.
No.
Mixed signals from the economy, inflation still relatively high at 3%. Just hearing the recap in our ear. If ADRs sees anything worthwhile, she'll come stat with all that. So yeah, that's what's happening right now in this market as we get a little tipsy-turvy back down into the lows again. Like good short up top. But got hit going a little too short early. Let's see if now, my next out, let's just wait for the bottom here. 107.25s. Let's just put a bid over there, 107.30. See if we get something out down there, and then we'll ring the register if that does happen, and see about holding the rest for maybe even a more dramatic move after that. But right now, market trying to dip and dive just a little bit.
Oh, I'd say so. Open lost a bid pretty big. The other thing I was saying, someone's like, yeah, but IBID's breaking low. It's not. It's not breaking the low. It's actually holding this bid. And in the time that the market went another, 100 and something points toward the low, Bitcoin just bounced again off the bottom. So as long as it holds this bid, this is just a trend break. Like it's just a clean down trend. Hold this, market tries to break lower, and then I'd look for a trend break up. The other thing is Intel is continuing to find the bid at the low of the day. This is just an auto shorted VWAP. If it gets back there and play the range, and I'm thinking the same thing. SMCI's got the same pattern. But what SMCI did yesterday is the last time it took VWAP at about 1030 and then made lows, you just started shorting every pop on trend. So if that starts happening, I'm going to have that one up just to short whatever the pop might be on that bad boy.
Ooh, what?
A 1040 coffee?
Is this not Italian cream, is it again? Oh, Podge!
I didn't even finish the other ones, man.
Oh, no, but it's, what I was going to tell you is it's very, very... Oh, you have it too?
I want to taste
Okay, here, cheers. Thanks, Randy. Let's see your opinion.
Smells delicious. Oh, that's so sweet. You know, if I'm saying it's sweet, that's actually, it's really sweet.
I know, remember I was telling you, you just put one of them in there? Two? Nah, come on, Randy.
You put two?
Come on, Randy.
Obviously. I mean, come on,
Watch this
man.
diabetic trying to turn me into one over here. No, just joking about that. We're not.
You can't use two of those things. He did
no wonder why, man.
No,
the first time I was like this.
No, he knew what he was doing when he put two of those.
No, I don't think. He's not watching or anything. I don't think he heard that.
It is tasty.
What a savage. Oh, yeah, it's tasty, but it's.
Anyways.
I don't know. You normally have it black. I just have it with a splash.
Yeah,
of
I'm used to
milk.
black coffee, so maybe I'm just overreacting to how sweet it tastes to me.
My almost 14-year-old is asking me if he should be getting into coffee. I mean, I was drinking coffee at that age, but I don't know.
You all drank coffee in high school, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody drank coffee in high school.
High school, grade school. I mean.
You didn't drink no coffee in grades? What? Really?
Yeah, for sure. Huh? I know, that's what I put in his first, the French
Must be an
vanilla.
Italian thing.
Oh, no, it was Irish cream. What do we have over there?
I would
French?
whoop my butt if I drank coffee at that age.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my daughter is, I gave her an ice cap the other day, and she loves that, but she can't have too many ice caps.
Oh, yeah.
Right, it's an iced
could rock with
cappuccino from Tim Hortons. Those have a lot of sugar in that as well. Okay, yeah, nice move down again. Like, we take advantage of that. Like, it fell right into there, man. We got 107.30s, just as we said. So that came right in there, now bouncing back off. So good out down near that downside. So whoosh, my whole day right now, we're flat on the TQs and we're down on AMD. So not good trading there for Advanced Micro Devices. And look where it bounces off of. Like, the confidence that I have in some of these things still remains super, super high. I just did not trust trading AMD. It was a good read, a good look, high, right back into VWAP on a strong stock. Problem is, was very influenced, of course, but I'm just gonna get another piece out here in the 30s. Very influenced, of course, by this TQQ trade, because we were already net short the market and didn't really want to go long AMD. Thought maybe I would squash one and then against the other. But right now, let's hold out that maybe we retest some of those lows, but getting a little piece out right now on the triple Qs as we start to head a little bit lower now. So that was a good one there. You know, a lot of names. I just saw someone ask you about Rigetti there. There's a lot of names that are just been getting hit, like SMR. Look,
not a day I'd want to be involved in.
Yeah, like I rebought. When I got out at 57, I rebought at 30, but that does not look like a good level right now. And you know, I thought 30 was going to try to hold there and right here, but it does not. So now SMR continues to maybe I reload this in the teens again where we had first gotten it, but in teens, out 57s, out in the top side here as well on SMR. We didn't like you know, the movement there because we had gotten some out and it just kept ripping. But then when we made that double top there, we got out of some of these plays near the top of, well, we got 57. And then also Oracle. Those are the two best names that I've been able to cover up. But, you know, we've been buying some of these dips. We did buy some Boeing at 200. I think it was 201 or so flat. That hasn't been working out yet. Target, Lulu, some of the more recent buys in my account as well. All right.
Before we go ahead, Dara, just to answer the Rigetti question, until it proves otherwise, it's high teens is where I think Rigetti's going. I can see no reason. Like, today is the first day of consolidation underneath this 28 support. This is a gap to 18 unless something changes right here. So if you catch a crazy bid in the next couple of days that holds 25, then maybe you can get back up and retest. But I'm kind of operating on the assumption that you're headed right back into, I guess we were calling it a Christmas tree retracement. That's not I didn't make that one up. That's, I think Sharif made that one up. Let's go over to the desk. It is time to go to Adara for that.
Time to go to me to look at sectors. We're down more than 1% in the Nasdaq, and I think that Nasdaq-specific weakness is really obviously reflected in this sector board. And I'm actually going to start with producer manufacturing rather than tech because, I mean, sure, you've got CAT, GEV also weak here. These are both NYSE names, but then you've got LRCX sharply to the downside, almost 3% to the downside. Applied Materials had their earnings tonight, down a whopping 2%. So lots of weakness, specifically in producer manufacturing. And of course, as you move to tech, there's weakness there as well. Cisco, still green, but certainly below where we gapped up to this morning. Nvidia, Broadcom, Intel, all sharply to the downside. And then you've got tech services with Google down about 3%, Palantir down 5%, AppLovin down 3.5%. So lots of tech weakness, but Meta, which has actually been relatively weak compared to its peers recently, is holding up quite well today. Retail trade, a little bit stronger here. Energy minerals doing quite nicely. And health tech, once again, one of the stars of the market. Eli Lilly made new all-time highs once again today, continuing to trade above that $1,000 level, with DHR and MRK also strong. So if you're looking for strength, health tech, communications, and energy minerals might be somewhere to look, but lots of weakness in tech and producer manufacturing as we send you back to Neil and Sean. And guys, do remember to hit the like and the subscribe if you enjoy the content we're bringing to you every single day.
Ooh, I just looked at one of the, I don't like the chart of Walmart right now. But if you look at healthcare, here, let's look at something good. Make everyone feel a little bit better about the day. Look at AbbVie. Look at Eli Lilly. Oh my goodness, Eli Lilly. That's a nice looking chart. If that doesn't make you feel at least a little bit better when the market is tanking, like hopefully it should. If you're not in like right now, healthcare and financials, although well, JPM's pulling back, so maybe not today. I didn't realize it was quite that far of a dip, but healthcare looking incredibly strong as we speak. That reversal in Bitcoin is not reversing. We're actually continuing lower, so that's going to mean no bounce play for me there. No bounce in SMCI to try to get into that short at some point. K-Dub points out that J&J also with the record high. And I wasn't trying to pick on Rigetti before. Just pick any frothy name.
J&J at highs, eh?
You know, it doesn't, like, you could go quantum names, nuclear names, like everything in that cohort is getting its butt kicked right now. And that's why you see some rotation and some more stable names. Do like what we're seeing in healthcare. That's your kernel of the biggest strength. I see Biogen in there, Amgen, a couple of good names as well. We got some more super chats. Let's see if we can get to them. Holy
yeah, let's do those.
Diabetic test strips for Sean.
Yeah, no shit. I can't even really. I was just making sure I have some AbbVie in the
I'm literally not going to finish this coffee. I can't. Nick Puts printing.
Yes. Da 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 da. We're loving it. Right there. There it goes. Shout out to DJ Colin. Probably a lot of McDonald's there.
McDonald's actually up on the day, by the way.
Here we go, man. Yeah, nice move to the downside. There it is, man. That's a face slap right now for us on the TQs. That's Baba still. There it is. There it is. Yes, sir. There. Give me those 85s, baby. There it goes. Yeah, nice trade on this one. Now $3 in the money on these TQQ trade. It's too bad because we had like 4 digits worth of shares up there, and then now we obviously do not. We did get stopped out, but there it comes right back into the downside now. So finally, now $3 printing upside. This will be P&L 1. Obviously, I only have this and or AMD today, but yeah, AMD just really rinsed me. Right there as we broke through the 200 period moving average. This part was okay. It was more just trying to fight this and then the trend, which broke higher. And right now, AMD, man, we'll talk about you later. But right now, it is the futures that is finally making this move to the downside there. And so, boom. Nice trade on that one. I do want to buy some SoFi on any weakness, and today is big time weakness. Robinhood, I still think falls down. Robinhood's only down 6% today, but you know, 7% now today for Robinhood as the bleeding continues pretty hard in that name as well. I think you get double digits soon for Robinhood. I mean, one more day like today, and that's a problem there. We do know we want to buy some SoFi. You just looked at JP Morgan. I just looked at AbbVie. We like that in our account. We like Eli Lilly being in our account today as well, as that is wow. So, like, I sold Google at not sold all of it, but sold some Google at 160 and bought this thing at 639. So like this is, and literally the bottom, I don't know how we got that. The bottom's 635, but we had bought some Eli Lilly right here at 750 when we first sold. or maybe it was down here, but when we first sold, we thought we had a good little level there. And then all of a sudden earnings came and we quadunked it. And then it was third day. So 1, 2, 3. So that third day is in between these two green bars. And just like we did on Lululemon, I'm price indiscriminate basically. If there's a stock that I like on third day that looks like it may be going back up, I don't try to catch the knife. If the third day is down, I'll leave it alone, but this one started to go back up and almost traded perfectly off of that. So that's just starting to feel like we need to get something out of Eli Lilly as we took down this all-time high like it didn't even exist at 975.
Yeah, reshuffling of the portfolio.
Yeah, like now we may have to say, okay, you know, maybe this move is extended just that bit too much there. But wow, we are now $3 in, and it's going to be funny because I think we wind up making more money maybe on this trade than we did on the AMD trade yesterday. But the problem with this trade here today is we had lost first. So the AMD trade yesterday was just smooth, 250 all the way to 263 yesterday. This day, we're just making back, well, now we're well up, but we had to make back sort of these early mistakes at VWAP and at the 50-period moving average. So yeah, learning more and more about, you know, my own trading style and what we need to do here to be as successful as we want to be. But there it is. Is Sound a good buy, says Roadrunner? I want to make sure that we get to all
those types
the
of
super
stocks are very dangerous
in this environment.
In this environment, right? Like you just
what the hell's going on with Fannie Mae?
A cheap Cisco getting beaten up and giving back after they had a good report and they're really good stock. What's going on in Fannie?
No, I just have to say it now because I didn't even notice this.
Did it yesterday too?
I know, but not 20%.
20%.
Like our guys in the back there, poor Wayner and Mateo over there, if they didn't sell, then I don't know what the hell's going on. I haven't traded this today, but this was $15. Adara, please interject if you have anything. I talked to you about this on, I talked to you about this on Tuesday, and I said we're in some problems here with Fannie Mae. That's when it was $10 and $11, and you mentioned to me Lisa Cook and some of these other things, but that's not this. I think Fannie Mae, Donald Trump.
Nothing new. It's still like we know that the 50-year mortgages, people are kind of concerned about. Trump wants to do those, and then there's been some issues with that or concerns with that. There's also, as I mentioned a couple days ago now, there's just some concerns here with Bill Pulte, who's running the agency with regards to some ethics issues and people being removed. We know there's been a lot of different investigations, et cetera. So that's the issue, but it's something really directly concerning Fannie Mae. It's more the culture surrounding it, and still nothing in the last 2 days.
Yeah, Fannie Mae, and also do not forget about its. Yeah, don't forget. Thanks, Adara, for all of that. I mean, that's yeah. Don't forget about its sister, Freddie Mac, brother, Freddie Mac. Fannie would be the girl, and Freddie would be the boy. Although these days, I have no idea. There goes Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
You just got yourself making that assumption.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We actually talked about this with my daughter because one of her favorite hockey players is Daryl Watts, and that's a girl.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about nowadays, you never know. We have so many kids.
Daryl, what's the actress?
Hannah?
Daryl Hannah.
Yeah, exactly. So there it goes. Okay, so there goes Fannie Mae, man. I wanted to bring that up because I know there's a lot of traders that look at these names, despite us not really trading them so frequently over the last couple of days. Fannie Mae is definitely downside here. We can have a look. Now trying to bounce back,
there's some buyers that just came.
Yeah, but we took out some more here on the TQs.
Yeah, I've now put the trail in. Bit of a bottoming tail candle happening, and then that other thing that I was looking for, which was, here, I'll just do this, because I have the trend line drawn, so you're gonna have to deal with my black chart. Bitcoin, it's attempting, it's trying, it broke the low, and it's trying to break the trend. Only about 9 minutes to go, but this is like the only thing that is potentially setting up for a trend reversal. And the weird thing about it is I just paid for locates in Circle because that broke this trend. Like it kind of broke this higher level trend, a couple of trend breaks and VWAP. So I'm looking for the play back into the volume weighted average price on Circle potentially first. Like I'd rather look for the short more aggressively than the bounce long. Ooh, wow. This gives me the prior day low and VWAP and a break of a trend. All three things wrapped in once as we go back over to Adara.
Let's talk about this US dollar, which isn't necessarily falling out of the uptrend. We're still making lower highs and lower lows, but this has been quite the slump this week as traders and the market in general tries to digest this end of the U.S. government shutdown. Now, this was the longest shutdown in U.S. government history, and as a result, a lot of economic data was delayed. We had commentary yesterday from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt suggesting that we might never get some of the data that we missed during the month of October. Kevin Hassett this morning came out and he said, who is, of course, the White House economic advisor, he came out and he said, we might be able to get this jobs data, but the unemployment data is likely lost. So again, if and when and as I get updates with regards to which data we will and will not be getting, you guys know I'll keep you posted. But either way, just worth noting here that the data that we get might not be quite what we think it is, even with the shutdown coming to a conclusion. I do want to talk as well about the CME Fed Watch tool because, guys, we're about 50-50 now. Only 54% of participants, just under that, expecting a rate cut of 25 basis points in December. And 46, almost 47 or 46.5% of participants here expecting that rates will be held at the current rates. And this is significant too, guys, because we even had some Feds coming out today, Feds Daily, saying that she's really not sure what she wants to do yet at that December meeting. We know Feds Powell already warned everybody that there is no guarantee of a rate cut in December. So, you know, things are pretty bleak. I think if we get some economic data ahead of this meeting, that should certainly keep things interesting because we know a lot of the Feds as well have expressed, you know, the fact that without this data, it's a little bit hard to find somewhere to move. Let's see if this end of the shutdown changes anything with regards to these rate expectations and Fed sentiment. Back to you.
Yeah, well, either way, regardless of how the data story plays out, the market story has been pretty clear here today. Like I'd say that this one speaks for itself. The only good is, hey, we're not at the recent lows. Friday's lows are, you know, a full day's move away to get to Friday's lows, and at least you have a little something here. But this 2%, like,
holy shit, man.
2% has happened like multiple, for 3 of the last, anyways, I think it's more like 3 of the last 5 days. We've seen 2% on the Nasdaq, and there's not much reason to believe we're not going to see it again at this point. I don't think we've gone to 1/2 without seeing 2. To be honest with you. So at least for now, the market is continuing to bleed all over itself. Even the strongest names out there have been running into trouble. Like AMD off the highs, no good. Apple low of the day on Apple. There's a trend break. This is better than Bitcoin actually. Like I'm looking at the Bitcoin one, but this is actually not bad on Apple.
No.
Apple is relatively solid. Holds on. It hasn't broken yesterday's lows. It's barely broken today's lows.
Damn.
On a trend break, I'd rather something that hasn't fallen all over itself yet, which at least Apple would qualify for that. Only about 5 minutes to go in here. I can tell you I am starving because you can't tell me that really bad peanut butter is a breakfast. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible, and this coffee's terrible.
Terrible.
But what is not terrible right now is this. This is an absolute monster trade, man. This short of the Qs right here, like, it's now 350 in the money on this trade. And like I said, we had done quite well on this, just battling back from our Nvidia beatdown right there. I did try something on Fannie Mae and got quickly in and out. I thought it was breaking 50 and it didn't. So in and out quickly on Fannie Mae as it's trying to bounce a little bit back. I just wanted to highlight that in case you saw that in and out there quickly. We were in and then we were out. But yeah, man, 1.5%. All we wrote down here. Bang, Caleb. There we go. Attaboy, man. I like that trade there, or girl. Good job on that, man. That's a great little trade there, and I'm glad that you went in on that. You know, we have the whole trade. It's just a matter of where do you wind up getting out. And I still continue. I say it all the time, man. I can't stop getting out little pieces by piece here, but little by little. A shout out to anybody that knows anything about Oasis. As this comes into the downside one more time, I'm going to get some more pieces out here at 106.30 and just try to make this, you know, happen again. And we don't need to do anything, but the Nasdaq, I was saying we could go down 2%. Remember when we were up here, I was talking about, like, you know, potentially retracing back into these levels, and that's where a lot of the trade came out, right? 107, 107.50, right where we had the past low. Then when we break it, now we just start to say, okay, let's start to piece this out. Like, how low can she go? Again, an absolute monster trade here for the TQs on that move back down in. So good job there, and I hope some of you have that. The surprise for me today, oh, by the way, we called the Palantir short, and we don't have it, and now that's at 173. That's ridiculous. Meta is the most interesting name for me today because it's still green by somehow. So watch out for this break on Meta, man. Really? It just came right back in.
That's the Apple. It's the same chart as Apple right now.
Yeah, but Apple's on the minute chart, yeah. But on the daily chart, man, I mean, Meta's the most broken of them all. And right now, you're getting ready to watch out, man. Mirror, mirror on the wall. What's the most broke mega cap name of them all? Meta. So once that to me spells almost that if you like the mega cap space here, these are good levels. Like, you're coming into something here where you can have a look. 600 is going to be a big level. I think we could see that today. Just got to break that 608. Then you see 600. And then after that, there is some support like 580 and so. But like, this name wasn't too long ago, was down here, $400 or $500. So we'll see, man. There's some names that are back near tariff levels. I would say that if Meta ever gets to there, there's going to be problems in portfolios, nationwide. So, but what's never a problem is, unless it's tilapia, of course. All right, today we've already talked about, it's been a really exciting day as far as food around here, because for the first time ever, we got peanut butter and toast for lunch. Breakfast. Not for lunch. Hopefully not for lunch. If I look over here and it says peanut butter sandwiches, it's going to be a problem. But at the end of the day, it'll be fine. Yesterday was, try to remember, can't even remember what yesterday was. So cottage pie, that's right.
Yeah, without gravy.
Like a shepherd's pie. All right, today though, what's for lunch? This should be okay. We've had this before, I feel like. But it's normally in the beef style. But this is pepper chicken stir fry with wok toss vegetable noodle. The noodles generally are pretty good here. With the steamed bok choy, garlic bok choy, with an Asian coleslaw. So I think that's, I'll say awesome.
I don't know what Asian coleslaw is.
For there, and that's what's for lunch. But if the caterers just had this Q short with me, then we could maybe be eating, something a little bit better than that. But there it goes, man. About to end the day. Only 20 seconds before the midday show. Good trade today, and there goes AMD bouncing back up.
I trailed out of the shorts, and I just went long in that IBIT trend break. It did break the trend earlier, but then I was like, maybe it doesn't feel that strong yet. Then held on to the bottom, and then right back up. So when it broke that prior bar at the half, it's 57.5. I just jumped into it. I'll be out at the low of the day if it breaks. That's simple. But AMD also breaking higher as well. So AMD back through the volume weighted average price. Maybe that's going to be something that can spark the market back higher. But yet, I still kind of feel like we do head to that 2% mark. So scalp the longs and maybe look for some pop and fade shorts throughout lunchtime, when we'll hopefully enjoy today's lunch.
I think we will.
I think so. Let's go over to the boys. I know there's some small cappers that are moving, because if you're looking for longs on days like today, usually it's in small cap land. So good luck, Sharif. Good luck, Joe.